Mattresses. Odds are you sleep on one every single night. Maybe sometimes you sleep on a couch. Look, I don't know how you're living, but if you're living in a world without a luxurious mattress, then maybe Lisa has something for you. Lisa will ship you a mattress in the mail. You don't have to leave your house and go talk to people about beds. Beds are a very private thing between you and your computer and the internet. So use your internet and order a bed. This 10-inch mattress comes in all sizes and has 3 unique foam layers. It's made in the USA and it ships for free to anywhere in the US and Canada. You've got 100 nights to try that mattress risk-free. So if you don't like it, you can ship it back. On top of that, here's a deal to get $75 off. Go to leesa.com/bombcast and enter the promo code BOMBCAST at checkout, and you'll get, yes, $75 off a Leesa mattress. Wow.
It is Tuesday, August 23rd, 2016.
Whoa.
You're listening to the Giant Bombcast.
Wow.
Take you by surprise.
You just phased in
I
from
know.
some of the
I
part of
know. It's like
existence.
my voice was in another
Is
dimension.
my microphone even on?
And then it was
Okay,
here.
Here I am.
I can
Hello.
hear you guys now.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I
Yes.
can.
I'm Brad Shoemaker.
Hello.
You're Jeff
Something. Yeah.
Kursman?
Yeah.
Got it.
Pronounce it however you like.
Okay.
No one else gets it right. It's
All right.
okay.
Make sure.
Aw.
Yeah.
Jason.
A-Striker.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi.
Got
How
it.
are ya?
Andrew?
Nope, just
Drew-
Drew.
Drew?
It's just
Okay.
4 letters.
Gonna get this
Not that
down.
hard.
This is like our 4th live show. I'm going to get this down one of these
Yep.
days.
He's Dr. Ew.
Ooh, I like that. I've never heard that before.
It's a good one.
You
Yep.
are definitely Alexa Ray Correa
Yes, I
from
am.
GameSpot.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
The Democratic
Thanks
Republic
for-
of Alexa Ray Correa.
Yes.
I like that.
Thanks for
It's
joining
my
us.
new Twitter name.
Energy bar chef and noted Dota 2 enthusiast.
No. I don't want to
Expert.
talk about Dota.
Pit Lord fan.
Yeah.
As you felt the need to let me know before the show.
You
I
know.
wasn't going to bring up Dota at all until you did.
You know what? She mentioned Dota and was like, and that's all I want to talk about Dota. And then
Yeah.
Brad kept going.
That's-
Yeah.
You bring it up.
and then I asked questions, and then Brad kept going.
the can of proverbial
Just,
worms.
Yeah.
Making,
That's what
making
happens.
small talk.
That's
Pit
what
Lord.
happens. Yeah.
There's no small talk when it comes to Dota.
No.
No.
It just keeps happening.
Only
Mhm.
large talk.
Yeah.
How's life? What's going on over there in GameSpot land?
Video games.
Yeah.
Now that No Man's
Oh,
Sky is out, we
That's
kind
what
of,
you guys
yeah,
do. Okay.
video games.
Yeah.
Now that that's out, kind of just playing other things
Yeah.
and
Chilling out.
getting ready for fall. Now that,
Chilling out in this
Yeah.
pre-PAX period.
yep.
I feel like No Man's Sky was the crest of the hill. Like, you can't see anything beyond it once
Yeah.
it comes out. And then like, oh, okay, that's fine. We know where that lives now. And now we can
Yes.
see the rest of the year.
Yes. Things felt very different in the pre and post No Man's Sky worlds.
Yes.
Pre was full of wonder and hope and excitement.
I'm gonna continue to stick to Madden as the game that is that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not out of
Ooh,
any
Madden.
not out of any like care about Madden.
But historically.
It's just like
Yeah,
that
that's the-
historically that is the game when games start coming out again.
AM and
hmm
BM.
Yeah. BM, definitely BM. We are currently BM unless you are on an Xbox One.
Oh,
I think that they are.
Are we in
living
that territory
They're
now?
living in a post Madden world right
Wow.
now.
when's the actual release date?
I think it's this week.
Oh, so they've had it since like what, Friday? Or something?
Whatever
Whatever
fucking,
that,
I don't know.
whatever that
man.
early.
Yeah, for as much as I like put value on the release date of Madden as when
Right.
games start coming out, you'd think I would actually know. But
it is the internationally recognized standard.
yeah,
It's the beginning of fall.
Mhm.
I believe the Madden release date is traditionally the shortest day of the year,
yeah,
if I'm not
The winter
mistaken.
solstice.
Yes, basically the
Nice.
Madden,
Absolutely.
the
The
Madden
solstice
solstice.
yeah. Everyone
Uh,
just stays on their buses and cooks turduckens.
Yes,
and, I don't know.
on the
It'd be a
bus.
great holiday.
On the bus is where the party is.
That would be a great. That does sound like a great
What do you
holiday.
think too?
What do you think? What do you think of John Madden Thanksgiving is like?
I don't know. Like a lot of a lot of crotchety anger and food, probably
Yeah.
like every other
Every other day at the
Thanksgiving.
Madden household.
Yeah,
Do you cook on the bus?
I think you probably.
bus?
I think you take the cooking gear off the bus, and because you're probably like deep frying stuff. You probably
Yeah.
want to do
Don't want
that.
to be in a bus.
You
Yeah.
don't want to be on the Madden bus deep frying stuff. Like the walls get greasy. It's just nasty at that point.
He's just
so.
tailgating.
Yeah.
Get out on the asphalt.
Probably. Yeah.
How old is that dude at this point?
He's 14 years young, and we wish him the best.
Yeah, indeed.
I don't know. Madden has not been a voice in Madden for
No.
some time now. So
He's not been much of a public figure.
I guess
for a
not.
while.
I guess not. Yeah.
What happens?
I think he's still on the radio here locally,
Oh,
bare
wow.
minimum.
Okay.
Like talking about the Raiders or something because he used to like coach the Raiders.
Oh, is
or
he
something.
from here?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he's based here.
Oh, wow.
And
Wait.
he drives the bus other
So
places.
the bus is here?
Yeah, if you want.
could
I mean,
go see the
we
bus?
don't know if the bus is here. It might be in
Okay.
some other city.
Yeah,
He
okay.
might be in the bus doing things.
Yes. John
But-
Madden has buses in other area codes. Is
Yeah,
what you're saying.
yes, definitely. But generally speaking, I know GameSpot went down and filmed something in the Madden compound
We
one
did?
year, some years. This is
Oh,
probably
wow.
before your time.
You mean like on his estate?
Yeah, like
Wow.
I think Homer saw the bus.
Wow.
Is what I'm saying.
Holy shit.
So the Madden Cruiser,
Mm,
as it is officially known.
okay.
I don't know. Yeah, those are the sorts of opportunities EA used to present around a Madden release. Was I don't know. Do you want to go to John Madden's house and see you could
That's
play
so
John
Okay.
Madden at John Madden's house? Like, all right, that's a weird. I guess I don't know. Yeah, football. Everyone loves
Not
football, right?
not quite the gala event that it used to be.
No, it's not quite the fucking Ozzy Osbourne standing
Yeah.
on the top of the marquee in New York playing live Madden midnight release.
Ozzy, a
thing.
huge Madden fan.
Oh yeah, Ozzy
Yeah,
loves
lines up every
two
year.
things:
Yep.
extramarital affairs and
And Madden.
football.
Here's your grab bag. It's got a beta key and tough actin' tenactin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Boom.
Yeah,
And a dove.
A live dove.
Suitable for
yeah. Super full for
yes.
oral beheading.
Yes.
That's the technical term.
Indeed.
Delicious. You put
Yes.
that in your protein bars.
No,
So you,
Mister.
Is that paleo?
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
There's a lot
is
of
it? Or
protein
duck's
in a dove.
paleo?
I
It's
would-
a bird, right?
would
It'd
think
be
so.
paleo.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
sure.
that's you
Oh.
put it inside the turducken. It's a dove and
Turdovekin.
Doterducken.
Yeah,
Doterducken.
Dovakin, I think
I'm
is the
sorry.
technical again.
What's going on, Jeff?
Oh, not much.
What's happening?
Oh,
What's new in the world?
What's new in the world? That's a
Yeah.
big question.
Yeah.
I think the Olympics are over, right?
Are they?
Did they end?
I don't-
Yeah.
I actually
Ye-
have no
yes.
idea.
Oh.
Yes, because I launched the app, and it said closing ceremonies.
Mm.
Okay,
So you can watch that in your app.
nice. What?
It's the
It was an
NBC.
app?
Okay, all right,
So,
they
yeah,
made
it was
an
an
app.
app.
This Olympics more than any other, perhaps I did not realize the Olympics were happening
Yeah.
until they
Yeah.
were most of the way through.
It was really hard
If
for
the
me to watch.
fucking asshole guy didn't fucking
Yes,
lie about
Ryan Lochte.
fucking up the bathroom or
Yes.
whatever, I don't even think I would have known that the Olympics were like
What?
over
So
or
I-
whatever.
What
A
exactly?
swimmer, okay,
What exactly did take place?
okay, so first of all, this swimmer stole his catchphrase from a rapper called MC8. EIHT, experienced in hardcore thumping.
Okay.
And so this fucking douchebag swimmer guy is going around going, yeah!
Yeah,
It's
he
like,
was-
oh, you're a fucking piece of garbage.
Yeah, he was known.
Aren't
he,
you?
He was known for Gia and also being an idiot like 4 years ago.
I guess
like,
so.
At
yeah,
the last
I
Olympics,
don't know.
it was
That-
very
so
clear that
I'd only heard of him in the context of him stealing this rapper's
Yeah,
catchphrase
yeah.
and then trying to trademark it or
yeah.
some fucking
that was
bullshit like
that was the 2012 Lochte scandal.
Where does
okay.
the bathroom come in?
But yeah, so-
apparently in Rio, him and some other swimmers went and fucked up a bathroom while they were drunk, and then a security guard or cop or somebody said, "Hey, you need to pay for that," and drew a gun on them, and then they went and reported it as a robbery.
Yeah, the thing is that for
Wow.
God, like the better part of a week, I think.
Yeah.
Almost a week. The story was in the air that they had been robbed at gunpoint.
And
Like,
then-
that's the story he told the news.
And then it started unraveling
Yeah.
as they started looking at footage. And apparently he, or I don't know if it was just him or the whatever. At some point, I stopped paying attention to even this. But like he's been dropped by sponsors and all this
Yeah,
other stuff.
he's-
like
he's
he's
lost,
like,
come
all
out
his
and
endorsement
he's come out
deals.
and given a non-apology about
also-
his.
His excuse for why he told this lie was that he was still drunk from the night before when the news interviewed him the next day.
Yeah,
Fair
okay.
enough.
Great.
All right, kid. What
Yeah.
happened at the Olympics this year? Pools turned green.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
There was
body,
a Tinder scandal.
The only
body
reason,
parts-
yeah, the only
body
way
parts
I knew
washed
the
up on
Olympics
shore.
were coming
Yeah.
was that I saw the uptick in stories about how bad Rio is.
Yeah.
And it was just like, well, everyone's going to die at the Olympics. If it's not Zika, it's going to be murder. You know, it's like, so
Jeez.
yeah.
Well.
And then on top of that, the ratings were super down
Yeah.
because who watches the Olympics
Yes.
in this day and age? So yeah.
I would have loved to, but they make it really hard. Like the 8 p.m. when you're off of work Olympics is just boring.
Not a ton going on.
Yeah.
For that one.
I would think they
We
would have
had
like,
it on in our house most of the time, actually. So yeah,
Huh.
we just downloaded like a Roku app, and they keep pretty good view of like everything that happened. You know,
Mhm.
they'll have VODs for that. And
It seems like they need to have like 2 ways to watch the Olympics, not the triple pack of yore. It needs to be, hey, you turn on NBC and you can watch primetime Olympics and we'll show you the best stuff, not live.
Right.
And then there needs to be, if you're a lunatic and just want to watch all the Olympics live, there's an app for that.
Right.
Like that seems
Or
like that
here's
would be
everything broken out, which actually the NBC app does. It's
Mm.
like, oh, what sport do you want? It's really hard to use, but finally, if you dig deep enough, you go like, oh, I want to watch the individual finals for men's rings.
And do I need to have a TV subscription to get
is-
any of that, or is it just kind of?
I
What, you're
think
not a
you
Rings
probably
fan?
do.
Is
I
rings
think
like the thing you hang from?
Yeah.
The, oh fuck that.
That's too much work.
It's like it hurts.
Yeah.
So you're telling me I could download that app, theoretically log into a TV provider, and then say I want to watch the javelin toss.
Yeah.
Okay.
and you should be able to.
Yeah.
All
Problem is, like, you have to fast forward through like all the. Usually they'll give you like a 3-hour block, and a bunch of sports happen in this block. And if you want javelin, you got to fast forward to this one. And
So they don't. Oh, that sucks.
That's too much work.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, what you really want is just like specific broken out things.
I want to push a button and watch a man throw a javelin,
Yeah.
and I want to push another button and watch a woman throw a javelin.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And all I need to see are the finals. I don't need to see like the warm ups or the qualifying or
Yeah.
They film
Yeah.
the warm-ups.
yeah.
Oh.
They got a lot of time to fill.
I feel bad. Like
No.
obviously, like to the people that are involved in the Olympics, it's this huge thing, and they train for a good long time and go and do all this stuff. But man, I just could not care at all about.
I actually like diving into like the weird stuff.
Hmm.
And that's kind of a good way to do that.
Okay.
Like you do have to sift through a little bit of like preamble, and you have to. So there are commercial breaks also in those 3-hour things. But if you fast forward past them, there's no indicators anywhere. But if you think like, oh, they finished up an event, it'll probably be 10 more minutes for the medal ceremony, and then it'll be an ad, and that's probably going to be like 7 minutes. So I want to go 17 minutes more, and then stop, and that will be, where the next event starts.
Yeah.
So you have to guess. If you stop in the middle of an ad break, you get the entire ad break.
Awesome.
But it's great to like drill down into, what's modern pentathlon? It's weird and awesome.
That's 5 events.
It's 5 events, and it was created. I looked into the Wikipedia page. It's created by this. Actually, there's some dispute here about who actually created it, but I think we've landed on a Swedish
Speaking
guy
of Olympic scandals,
in like 1912
Mhm.
who wanted to replicate. He wanted to replicate the old ancient Greek pentathlon, which was 5 sports that were supposed to say, "Here's the best soldier." So in the ancient one, it was like, you need to throw a spear, you need to run, and a couple other things.
behead a dude.
Right, and
Oh,
so
no.
when
How much blood can you drink in 45 seconds?
so when the modern one came out, it was like World War I time, and so the guy was like, "All right, for the modern one, you need to be able to, I think it's run, swim, shoot, ride a horse,
No.
and sword fight."
Do you go straight from shooting to on the horse to sword fighting? Is there like a natural progression? Like
You never leave the horse.
you're on the
Right.
horse the whole time?
Apparently, people will fall off their horse, and then you have like 120 seconds to get back on your horse, and the clock doesn't stop.
I
You
mean,
just got to
that's
catch your horse and
yeah,
get back
all
on it.
the generous amount of time to get back on
I don't
your
know.
horse,
I've never
actually.
tried to catch a horse, so
If you can't get back on the horse, maybe you have no business being in the Olympics.
maybe.
Jeff, you got to check out fencing though. Like it has moved up to like
Yes.
Tron level, like
Oh, right,
into
right.
the grid.
Oh,
levels
is
of
it just like all
production.
kinds of crazy tech around it now?
Yeah, like it's got sensors all over the body and
Okay.
on the helmet as well, and
All
it
right.
lights up whenever you get a point. And just like the presentation, like there's a big highlights
Mm.
on the strip that they come on, and it's just like boom, 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 just like slowly lights up, and
Yeah.
they kind of enter in. It's really really
That's
cool.
All right. Yeah.
That one's hard for me to watch though, because it looks like it's just like a bunch of flailing, and then someone might get a hit. But I guess some people are better at that than others, so there is some tactic to
You got to
it.
look for that light. That's what I look for.
Oh,
I have
okay.
no idea if who's hitting who, but once that light comes on, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
How
he
was the
did
touch?
good.
There was one lady from I want to say like South Korea. So they like decorate their helmets as well, and it had like the red and blue like yin yang symbol. And this lady, man, whenever she scored a point, would just like scream this guttural fucking yell. It was pretty amazing.
Wow.
Really intense.
It's been a weird Olympics.
Yeah.
There was that Russian
Yeah.
sharpshooter that had the Witcher insignia
Yeah.
on her eye
Yeah.
patch. Just
That stuff's pretty cool.
one thing. You didn't see that?
No,
Yes. Just go Google it.
It was very cool.
the guns in shooting are real weird.
Yeah.
They're like
They are.
air powered.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not. Oh, they're not.
They don't look
Oh,
like guns. The ones
weird.
that shotgun shooting look like they're shotguns. But like the shooting ones look like kind of look like paintball guns. Actually.
Yeah, like weird pellet guns.
Weird air rifle type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Olympics.
Olympics.
They're over.
You see
Yeah.
that ending ceremony?
Bring-
Bring on the laugh
What's that?
Olympics.
The ending ceremony where like the prime minister of Japan came up.
Oh yeah,
came out
I
of the
saw
flag.
that GIF
yeah.
floating around, dressed as Mario out of a pipe.
So good.
What the hell?
So good.
That's amazing.
Oh man,
Yeah.
2020.
Yep. Start getting hyped.
I'm planning a trip to Tokyo in December, and
Yeah, you are.
I came by your desk and asked for a bunch of tips on Japanese phrases and where to go in Kyoto, and
yes.
because we're gonna do a day trip there.
Kyoto is number one rule everywhere is just eat everything.
Okay, I can do that.
Eat everything. Kyoto has the better temples. It's a lot of hiking though. Drink the water temple.
Okay, that seems like a good place to do that.
Gain eternal life. Is that
It's like I don't know. It's like some monk found like the purest spring in Japan or whatever, and now people line up to drink it and sometimes like dump it over their heads and stuff. It's really cool.
Okay.
But eat everything.
Google Translate has come a long way. I downloaded it like years ago, and now you can not only can you take a picture of some other language and it'll translate it on the fly for you. You can speak into it and it'll translate it.
Oh wow.
And you can draw Japanese characters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so if
And
you're
have
sitting
it-
there looking at
Yeah,
one
like,
and go,
what
like,
is
ah,
this?
What is
You
this?
draw it
Yeah.
and it'll translate that
Huh.
for you.
Mhm.
Sometimes the speaking, and if you type in a phrase, it's not accurate though.
Okay.
Sometimes it translates because Google Translate is very literal, and there's a lot of nuances to like Japanese sentence structure
I'll
and
bet.
stuff. But I think you'll get like people will understand what you're saying.
Vocabulary stuff will probably be
Vocabulary.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, what I need to know what the sign says. Let me get the gist of it.
Also a lot of
bathroom.
English
Bathroom.
speakers over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tokyo has a lot.
Yeah, so you kind of don't really need
Yeah.
to know
A lot of English
any-
signage for that matter.
Yeah, definitely.
Ego.
Lego. My ego?
Wakari.
Wakari Maska.
Maska.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Just you-
Eigo ga
you-
wakarimasu ka? Do you understand English?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the yeah.
You just
that and
order
sumimasen.
the L size. That's it.
Just
Just
the
the
L size.
The L size
Yes.
set.
Big-
It's not a combo. It's a set.
How do you add
Isn't it
motherfucker to the end of
LL.
that?
LL.
speak
Actually, if
English,
they have
motherfucker?
LL, get that because that's bigger than L.
Okay. Big Biru.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
nailed it.
Just go for the big beer.
Okibiru.
Oh.
Big biru.
Oh.
Okibiru.
Oki. That's one.
Oki.
big.
That's
Oh,
big.
big. Oki Biru.
Okibiru.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
have a
just
great
Putting
time.
on a
I'm
Japanese
excited
clinic
for
over
you.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going in, Mary and I are leaving in September.
For the
TGS.
TGS.
Mm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you bookending, like doing a week before or after, or
There's so much going on that we kind of can't. Like, I'm literally coming back from PAX, and then I have like 2 days, and then I'm off again.
wow?
Ooh.
Yeah. So we're spending a couple days, she and I, we're staying in Akihabara
Nice.
for like 3 days after the show, and then we're there for like 2 days before the show.
Akihabara.
I never thought about staying there.
Like afterwards?
No. I mean, like staying in Akihabara.
Oh,
We're in-
oh,
we're in, like,
It
a
yeah.
doesn't seem like a
loft.
place where there would be hotels.
Yeah.
It's an Airbnb.
Or is it Airbnb?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, it's a
Airbnb.
level.
Never thought about it. Yeah.
Airbnb in Japan is like really cheap. It's like $20 per night for like 2 people. Like we're
Jeez. Wow.
spending no
Man,
money on
that's
lodging.
awesome.
Maybe
Yeah.
we should
Yeah.
go to Japan.
And it's
Yeah,
like
right.
the old
Jeez.
with like the old style apartments with like
Yeah.
the mats on the floor and like the sliding wooden doors
Cool.
and like it's great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
That'd
we
be
always
awesome.
stayed in Shinjuku most of the time.
We stayed there last
Demon
year.
City? Shinjuku? It's an
Yep,
anime.
that's the
Never-
one.
You wouldn't know it.
And
No.
we can talk
I've heard
about
of it.
anime.
No, I would not.
Nope. Moving on.
Wanna talk about animes?
Nope. No anime on this
Not
podcast.
Not yet.
Damn.
All right.
Hey.
Let's move on from the world of real sports to the world of video sports.
All right.
Jeff.
Ultimate video sport,
Yes.
crouch walking.
Indeed.
Uh,
Really works your core. You
Yeah,
know?
really
Got a lot of
working your robotically enhanced core.
a lot of lower body
to
strength involved there.
Skulk
Yes.
around the streets. It's big in Prague.
Yes.
It's a lot of crouch
Are we
walking.
talking about video games?
There is a new Deus Ex
Yeah.
in the world. Jeff, speak upon it.
Well,
It's hard to talk while the music's going.
Yeah, they made a new Deus Ex.
Yeah, like 5 years later.
5 years, almost 5 years.
How
Yeah,
is it 5 years since the last
just
Deus Ex came out?
And so they made a new Deus Ex, and it is very much like the last Deus Ex.
Black and gold.
So
a little bit blue.
Not as black and gold.
Okay.
I liked the black and gold. I
was
thought, you know,
cool.
it had this kind of defined
It's different.
aesthetic that was like they took a stand on their aesthetic, which most games kind of don't.
They went all the
so-
way with it. Like
Yeah.
there's like that 12-minute recap video in the new one,
right?
which
Oh,
is
yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
but footage of the old one, and it is nothing but black and gold. Like,
Right.
holy crap!
Yeah.
There were no other colors in that game.
No, definitely not. They didn't allow them.
Are there colors in this game, Jeff?
Yeah, there are more.
Okay.
There are more.
What
yes,
colors? There's like
there are
five.
more colors.
There's like 5 more.
There are
Okay.
more.
It's like
I
blue,
can speak to the quantity,
There's
but
a lot of orange.
green.
uh-huh.
Does gray count, or is that just
Gray
a version
counts.
Gray
of
is
black?
certainly a color.
That's a
Okay.
shade.
Okay.
Red,
Okay.
not a color.
What?
Maybe some red. It's a little bit red.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they made another Deus Ex. It is like mechanically incredibly similar to the previous game, and I actually think like story-wise, it is pretty similar to in that. This is the weakest part of the game, I think, is the story. In that they kind of just don't really go anywhere with it. Like there's a conflict that occurs. It occurs because of a larger thing going on, and by the end of the game, you have kind of solved the small-scale actual conflict and sort of saved the day. But you don't really know that much more about what's really going on, which I think is disappointing. But yeah, I think their story it's very. It's a little flat. I think the side missions and stuff like that are a little more interesting, a little more human, and that sort of stuff. But mechanically, it's a very similar game. You have a lot of the same types of abilities and augments and things to do as you go around. Prague mostly.
Yes.
Probably
Pretty much all concentrated in Prague, because the first game you kind of like hopped back and forth,
Yeah.
like Detroit, and then you're going to China, and
Right.
then like
So-
a ocean base, and
Yeah,
then back to China.
Prague is bigger than the hubs were in the previous game, but you stay there basically. There are, I guess, 3 points in the story where you go somewhere else. I think it's only 3. Anyway, but it's like, hey, go out here, do this mission. Like this big kind of end of act thing is going to happen out here. And then you're going to come back to Prague and do some more stuff around there. And the city will have phased. So now it's nighttime. And there are different side quests and that sort of stuff. And now it's raining and all that sort of thing. But yeah, Prague is a little bit bigger. I think, like there's nothing as visually striking, I think, here as like Hengsha was in the previous game that had the kind of lower city, upper city thing.
Yeah.
Like that was just a really cool idea that I think manifested really well. So, I think that Prague is a little flat, but also it's a little bit bigger and it feels like a pretty cohesive city. You have train stations that kind of link it together. So you're kind of going between 4 or 5 different smaller sections of Prague.
Okay, so it's not like open world necessarily.
Yeah, not really.
quite.
Yeah. You're kind of, you're running around. You're doing your thing, but at some point, like, oh, I need to travel to this other district to do this thing because that's where this building is. And so you're getting on the train. It's loading in the new area.
Yeah,
and you're
it's all
doing
it's all
your thing.
relatively. I've only played the first 3 hours or something. Like, it's all relatively constrained, though. It's
Yeah,
like-
and you're saying you're about halfway through.
I'm about halfway through. The thing that I don't know if you had the same problem. I felt like that overheating mechanic didn't do anything. Where you have to like you can't equip. If you over equip augmentations, you'll overheat and it'll make you shut down or something. I like over equipped all the time, and I never really had an experience where he just overheated.
Yeah.
So I
I felt like there was no weight to it.
I just got to that point. Is that basically just like a heat budget? It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
if
it's
you,
like a heat
Like you
budget.
just have to keep it under 100%.
It's like a loadout thing of so you get. I think it's a good way for them to introduce new abilities to the character, right? Is like, oh, you've got these secret fucking augments.
That was
Like,
a pretty
what?
awesome moment.
Yeah.
Like it's right at the beginning of the game. But
Yeah.
it's like you wake up and they're like, holy shit, you have way more augs than you thought. Like, where did these come from?
Yeah, I think that's a good reveal.
Yeah.
But like to equip those, then you go over your heat budget and have to shut down existing systems permanently to disable like
wait.
some of your old style
Yeah, shut
augments.
them
Never turn them back on?
permanently.
Yeah. Well, so there's
A thing happens later.
A thing happens later. So I didn't turn on any of those experimental augments until after I got the thing that removes the limit. Kind of late game, you get to a point where it's like, hey, if you want to totally just go nuts on this stuff, you come here and we'll operate on you and you'll be fine. So I just didn't need those abilities. So the abilities that they actually grant you, the only one I found kind of cool was remote hacking. Because it'd be good to be like, oh, this camera is in my way, so go away. But like the stuff that's like, hey, here's this mid-range non-lethal takedown. Like I already have ways to do that. The air dash is kind of cool, but like it's a lot of cool stuff, but none of it ever felt essential to the way I was playing the game.
Are they just more abilities? Is there any distinction between the experimental ones?
They are
and,
more
like,
abilities.
Like they're not like philosophically different than the regular ones you have.
Not really. It's like weird stuff. Like there's an air dash or the nano blade that you use in some of your takedown animations. You can launch it like a rocket. Or what else? There's the
like
Tesla, which is you can lock onto 4 guys at its most upgraded and take them all out non-lethally immediately.
What's the upgrade or the augment that you use the most?
I ended up going with mostly the passive augments. So I wanted to early on have access to the entire game. I didn't want to be in this case where I'm like, oh, look at that area. Oh, it's full of gas. I haven't gotten the upgrade that lets me go through gas areas, so I'm gonna have to find a different way. I wanted to make sure that I was not locked out of anything. So early game, I went into the speech check stuff, which is just like 1 point early on, and I went into the gas lungs, the ability to walk through electricity, hacking upgrades, stealth upgrades to make the hacking more successful. That's basically I wanted to read every laptop, do every like all that.
Did
stuff.
you though?
Just
So
there are fewer laptops in this game than there were in the previous one, and I think generally the stuff is a little bit better in terms of like, oh, I'm in this person's apartment for this side quest. I'm going to hack their laptop. Oh, that's interesting tidbits of information about this serial killer thing.
I guess the emails and like what's it called? The pocket secretary, the little data pad stuff. I guess that stuff's kind of interesting because it's all personal, but like the amount of like ebooks and newspapers lying around, like I've just started buttoning.
I didn't pick up most of the newspapers because those kind of phase as you get further into the game. But the pocket secretaries would often have codes on them and stuff that you would want. Yeah, but the stuff that was more personal was the stuff worth reading. The ebooks, you get XP for reading them, so I would hit the button, read the first page, or glance at the first page, and then just go on. That's all like good flavor backstory stuff about the state of the world.
Some of the world building, like generally, the game feels like it takes itself a little bit seriously.
Oh yeah,
for what they're trying to do with all the stuff with the Illuminati and everything.
Yeah, so like, I mean, like, look, that's what Deus Ex always was, right?
I guess so.
And so
that played a lot better in 2000.
Totally, that was like when you get to a point where you got Adam just going, "You mean the Illuminati?" Yeah. I couldn't stop laughing. It was just like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Like that he's saying those words out loud in a world that has so many. In a real world where we have so many deeper, more real conspiracy theories.
Like maybe if there were some kind of Alex Jones surrogate in this game,
they're kind of the radio. I mean, there is just full on right wing fucking conspiracy radio throughout this game. Whenever you turn it on, it's like, we got to get rid of the Augs, because that's the central thing is the racism between the naturals and the Augs.
Yes,
which I don't think
the Clanks.
Clanks,
I believe is the derogatory term.
That's a good dumb fake racism slur for your robot people, I guess.
Very chill racism slur.
Yeah.
That stuff felt a little dissonant to me though, because like it initially, like didn't they portray Augs as like something only the super wealthy, like the elites have access to?
Well, no. So I mean, if you think about it, the people that were getting augmented were people that had to go work in factories. You know, like there's definitely like a lower end of like, this corporation is paying for me to get robot arms.
Okay.
So that I can go to war cargo for them or lift stuff for them.
Okay.
And now that the incident from the previous game has happened, like, now the tension has bubbled over, and now here are these people that they never asked for this.
Obviously.
And they are now being discriminated against and stuff like that. So I think there's the setup for a really interesting story about racism as it relates to people with robot arms versus people that don't. But the game, for all of its like pre-release hype and stuff around, like, I mean, they literally said the words mechanical apartheid.
Yeah.
Like the game has the depth of like a ripped from the headlines episode of Law and Order, you know, by comparison. You know, they address that stuff in the most surface level way possible, and really they just kind of go nowhere with it. So I think that's sad, because I think there's a more interesting story they could have told if they had just been willing to get into it a little more.
Yeah, it's a good game. I just don't think it says anything, and I feel like we were all expecting it to say something, and that's like on us. That's not on them, but. Great game.
Yeah. I think what's there is fine, and it's there's the missed opportunities that I think the story has nothing to say and doesn't really go anywhere. Even if you don't care about that aspect of it, it like by the end of the game, I found myself going like, man, I wish that this actually like went places and did things with the overall conspiracy that it just totally doesn't. But I think it plays well. I like most of the voice acting. I think the guy that's your boss of the task force, I think, is really bad. but everybody else I think is really good. I think it's a nice looking game.
Yeah.
There's little bits and pieces where I wish it didn't cut to black whenever you did a takedown. It's like you're playing an FMV game or something. It's like I pushed a button and triggered some cutscene,
Right.
and now I'm back in the action. Like that stuff I wish was cleaner. And I think their additional modes, like the breach mode, is like this VR mission thing of like going in to complete these missions, and it's got leaderboards and online times and all this other stuff. Like that stuff, like they try to inject some bits of other story stuff into that, but I think that removed from the overall story of like, what's Adam Jensen gonna do next? Like the idea of just that gameplay on its own, I don't think it holds up as well, or at least like I have zero interest in playing. Just like stealth action for the sake of stealth action. That's not fun to me. So.
Can you describe a typical encounter and the options you would have?
Sure, yeah.
I haven't seen either Deus Ex game in a long time.
It's got a cover system, so you're kind of. It depends on how you're going about things. Usually, they add every single option to every single thing because they don't know how you've spec'd, and you have to be able to complete it. Whether you're going to have to come in through a grate, or whether you're going to hack your way in.
There's
whether
always some gas.
Yeah, or whether there's some gas here, or they've got multiple ways to attack every scenario, but not always in a way that feels supernatural.
Okay.
Or natural, I guess I should say, not supernatural. So depending on how you're going, you could come at things a handful of different ways. If there's a turret in the room, you could find the security terminal, hack that. If you've upgraded appropriately, you could turn the turret to then start shooting at the guys that are in that room. Usually, I just walked around and did the like non-lethal melee takedown, and then if there was anyone left, I had a stun gun that would also non-lethally take people down. So that system is extremely forgiving, and like they can turn and see you, and as long as you are in the process of getting them as they are seeing you, they're not going to raise an alarm. So it's really forgiving stealth. Even when they do see you, it doesn't matter. Generally speaking, you're just like, well, I'm going to hide here, or I'm going to go here. It does the Splinter Cell style like silhouette of where they last detected you.
Oh, cool.
Thing, so you can see that you've kind of broken visual contact, and then just go hide. A counter, there's a Metal Gear style, just the percentage meter fills, alert, stand down, everything's back to normal. You're walking up behind people and stabbing them again.
Did you find that boring, just doing the takedown stuff all through the game? Or
I mean, I was not in it. I mean, yeah, you have more options. I think everyone's going to play it a little differently, but I suspect that a lot of people will kind of stick to the same thing. I could have turned invisible and walked past them. I could have.
I guess having that option, like if you do get bored, like,
yeah,
I could have
used gas grenades to cause them to pass out. I could have just shot them all in the face. Like you have all those sorts of options at your disposal.
Did you want to do non-lethal for any particular reason?
I just didn't see a need to kill people.
I think you get more XP.
They've balanced that out.
Have they now?
So
Okay.
that was one of the criticisms of the previous game. Is that if you were not killing everyone, there were things you were missing out on.
Because you get a bunch of little pop-ups. Like every time you take a guy out, you'd be like, oh, you get 10 points for marksman, like 20 points for merciful or whatever.
So I played through that game, and I killed a few people here and there because things happen. But it doesn't seem like it would be that difficult to get through that game killing no one. And that's something that's like
meticulous enough about it.
Yeah, and it's not even that meticulous. It's just tapping B and using the stun gun instead of holding B and using a rifle.
I had a situation where two guys were coming after me because I tripped an alarm, and I peeked around and stun gunned the guy in front, and the guy behind him just kept wailing with his shotgun through the guy.
Wow. Yeah.
And I couldn't. I never ran over there to confirm if it had killed him or not. I don't know if the enemies can friendly fire each other.
I don't know. That game has a really great shotgun. In a world in which most video game shotguns are terrible, you can put a silencer on it, which is always a good dumb thing to do.
That's ridiculous.
But it's got a tight enough spread and does enough damage that when I got to a point where it's like, all right, I'm just gonna finish this game, and I started mowing people down in the bank of all places. That was the weapon of choice for sure. But it's got an upgrade system around all the weapons. Like if you want to engage with the weapons and go crazy on that stuff, like there's like a crafting system there to upgrade each weapon's potential.
It does the crisis thing of like you cut to.
It's got that as well.
Yeah, you can like bolt stuff onto it.
Yeah. So like that stuff is fairly well fleshed out. Like I feel like they've added a lot of options around things to where like if you want to be non-lethal with Flourish. The Typhoon can be non-lethal if you so choose. The Tesla upgrade is that thing, like I was talking about, it's one of the new things where you can kind of just go and lock onto 4 guys, hit the button, they all get zapped, they all fall over. So you can get more creative with that stuff if you want, and you can be splashy and spend all your energy and do all that stuff. I usually just ended up skulking up behind people and hitting the B button over and over again. And I still had a good time with that.
But you said that it actually like cuts away, like it fades to black, and then
yeah,
goes
it's
into
a good half second or more of black.
Hard cuts to black. Cuts up on one of a handful of animations.
Interesting.
And then it does not cut back to black. Then it kind of pulls back into first person.
It's kind of a weird presentation.
Yeah.
It's got to be a load or something, right? That wouldn't do that
I don't think
intentionally.
so.
No, I think it's that they came up with their animations and didn't want to come up with, I bet like to actually have dynamic animations based on where you are really standing in the world is probably
it like
way
teleports
harder.
you to wherever the animation needs
Also,
you.
also, I bet transitioning out of first person to show that animation would look really weird.
Yeah.
So that's just an easy shortcut.
But I think that the solution they've come up with, I don't think it looks great. I wish that they had done a little more around that stuff.
Some of the presentational aspects feel a little bit half baked to me.
They feel like the last game
cutscenes
in a lot of
and
ways.
stuff,
You know, like
How's it run?
Yeah.
I played it mostly on the PC. Runs fine there. Console versions are acceptable. They don't run as well as my PC can run it, obviously, but they generally look pretty much fine. The Xbox One version, I think, like there's just a bit of grime on it that I didn't see on the PS4 version, where like some text feels a little weird. Like some of the text reads a little weird. We're gonna do a quick look. We're gonna play the Xbox One version for that, just because that's where the save is, where my save is at a best point to do a quick look.
Okay.
And yeah, that one, some of the menus look a little weird, low res. Like the text is not as readable as it is on some other platforms, which is a strange thing. But
if I have one nit to pick with stealth in that game, it is that I'm not used to stealth games where like every one of my stealth goodies requires some kind of resource.
Right.
So like even the melee takedowns take like a pretty good chunk of your energy bar, which it does not recharge on its own.
So it does, but only
Does it?
if it's all the way empty, it will recharge up to that first line, which is
Okay.
enough for one takedown.
Right.
So you do the takedown, you back off.
basically have to wait.
You go do another
Yeah.
takedown, you back
Yeah,
off.
like I feel like skittish or on edge that I don't have like a fallback option. Like yes, I've got plenty of stun gun ammo.
Right.
Like yes, I've got a couple of consumables to recharge my energy, but like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not quite ready to charge in every time I want to do something.
Yeah.
because like I don't know how long it'll be before I get more
Right. So
bio
there's
cells or whatever.
there are plenty of biocells in the game. You can also craft them.
Okay.
And also there's an upgrade on the tree for multiple takedowns. So that's you can hit B and kill two people at once if you like. That was pretty handy for that style of play as well. But yeah, you'd run into a few cases where like going around the bank and trying to turn off all these cameras so I can get upstairs and do something. Like, it was going to take forever to do that. So at some point, I'm like, oh, this camera saw me, so I'm just going to pull out the shotgun, and this is how we're doing the rest of this mission. It's fine.
All right.
There's an achievement in there for not killing anyone, but I did not get it.
That sounds laborious.
Yeah. Because that's, I mean, honestly, like, so a lot of people had criticisms of the boss fights in the previous game, that they were just kind of half-baked. And if you were speccing in a very non-lethal kind of way, it was very difficult to get into some of those fights. Like you just didn't have the tools at your disposal to take those guys down as easily as you would if you were just murdering them. This game seems to solve the boss fight problem by just getting rid of most of the boss fights. Which is
one way to do
I
it.
appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, but also so that left me at the end of the game where there's a boss fight, feeling like, oh man, like I haven't had enough time playing this game as a shooter to feel super comfortable with the shooting, and now here I am
being forced
to do this shooting. So there's an achievement for not killing anyone. So I assume
Can
you
you
could
not kill the?
The text specifies like bosses count too. So I assume that just means gas grenades or your other non-lethal options, because you have like a tranq gun and all this other stuff that you could be using. I didn't use any of that. I threw grenades at him and shot him in the head with a sniper rifle a bunch.
That usually works.
And then he fell over. And that was the game.
And scene.
Oh.
And scene. Yeah, it's so yeah, I feel like they didn't necessarily like actually solve the boss fight problem as cleanly as they could have. They just kind of just pulled most of that stuff out.
Do you miss them?
I always wanted to go the speech check option for a lot of that sort of stuff anyway. So I was talking my way around conflict. So that I should actually specify that I talked my way around a lot of conflict in that game. So there's always the potential that some of those could be things you would consider a boss fight, but I just said like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And they were like, "I'm cool," and I'm like,
We
"Yeah,
cool?
you are."
Fight with your
And then I
words.
just kept walking. So,
Did you date them afterward?
Yeah, there's a whole dating
Cool.
mini game
Can
in
you
there.
romance?
You can romance anything in the game.
Anything.
Anything.
Build your S-Link.
They
Yeah.
make you take a shower early on in that game.
They don't actually make you take
Well, they
a
don't
shower,
make you, but they recommend that you do, and then you go do it, and then there's a cutscene of Jensen taking a shower, even though he's mostly metal, and then I started to wonder how much of Jensen is still Jensen.
Oh,
Do they-
Brad.
these are
they
the
show it.
questions they ask.
They
man.
don't make it clear how much of him is still there.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if
Has
he's.
he got a robot butt?
I don't know if he's like kind of yeah.
Cool.
That's
I'm-
what fan art
That's
is
what I'm.
for.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
That's what fan art or like, hacking the camera to pull out and
Yeah.
let you see that stuff. I'm sure those questions will be answered.
That model must be.
Source
have to know.
It's
filmmaker
out there
will answer
somewhere.
your
somebody,
questions.
somebody get in there and spin the
It'll be
camera.
Adam
Someone has
Jensen
hacked
and a couple of characters from Overwatch getting it on. I'm sure that exists right by now, right?
The game's been out for like 12 hours.
Exactly.
So yes,
Yeah. So yes,
probably
definitely.
somebody's gotten that done. by
Soldier
now.
76 and Adam Jensen getting real close.
Been shipping those, huh?
It's
Did
not a
not
bad
ask
pairing.
for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ship it.
All right, new Deus Ex.
Yeah.
It's out there.
It's good.
Let's take a quick break. Come back and talk about some more video games.
Cool.
It's time to get the garbage out of your diet.
How do you know there's garbage in there?
I just
Have
I
you been
have
watching me eat?
Yes, I literally have been watching you eat.
It's okay.
I watch you snack when you do snack.
Thought I was getting away with it.
No. And I think maybe you could use healthier snacks in your life.
It's time to clean it up a little
It's
bit.
time to clean it up a little bit with perhaps Nature Box.
Oh?
Nature Box.
Nature is clean.
Yes, Nature is clean, and they make snacks at Nature Box that are full of flavor with none of the junk.
Ooh, clean snacks.
Clean snacks, and they have over 100. Like Granny Smith apples, Cherry Berry Bonanza.
Apples are clean.
Apples, yeah,
Don't get
apples
no
are
cleaner than that.
Chocolate hazelnut granola,
Ooh.
comma, clean. It doesn't say that here, but it's letting you know.
Yeah. Granola is energy food.
So how about some Flax Fortune coins? Yeah.
I don't like.
Yes.
Is that? I'm gonna keep my money in my stomach.
That's
now?
right.
Is that what's going
Keep
on?
it safe.
Okay.
And they will send you these snacks in the mail at a frequency of your choosing. So, you want them once a month, you can get them that way. You want them every other week, that sort of stuff.
How about every hour?
Every hour, that might be a little tricky. Well, hey, you could get Nature Box to send you snacks,
okay.
and that's something you do. And if you don't like the snacks, like let's say, for example, you get these Flax Fortune coins and you decide they're not for you.
They're rather unfortunate.
Yeah, for you personally,
As
so
it were.
maybe you're just not into the flax. Maybe
Yeah.
you're not a flax kind of person. Nature Box will replace snacks
I'm on hemp seeds these days.
if you are not satisfied. Yeah, nothing wrong with a hemp seed.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? You can get mini Belgian waffles, mini cocoa Belgian waffles.
Breakfast snacks.
Yeah, hot snacks
Okay.
for you from Nature Box in the mail.
Mail snacks.
And you can
Like
get
postal snacks.
Yes, exactly.
Not
Postal
not
snacks.
gendered snacks.
No. Like yes, coming to you, U.S. Post, or maybe I don't know how they ship the snacks.
Or private shipper. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know how any of it works, but naturebox.com/bombcast is the place to go to get 2 bags of these delicious snacks without any of that junk for free. Free snacks.
Free clean snacks.
Yes, naturebox.com/bombcast. Get those clean, bold, unique snacks delivered right to you. Free.
During the break, you guys were passing this energy bar back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I happened to grab it from you briefly and look at the back of it.
Did you
where
get this
it
from a gas
says-
station? Did you...
I got this from the internet.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just going to read under ingredients. There's a subheading, allergen information. If you have a crustacean shellfish allergy, you may be allergic to crickets.
I did not know. I actually do have that allergy, and I was really looking forward to
Do you
trying
want
this.
to
Oh,
try some?
sorry,
You want to
Joe.
try
I mean,
some? Try some cricket bar?
test. Yeah, we can test it to see if it actually does affect me.
If your head
but
blows
Please
up.
don't.
And
my throat closes up.
See if
Yeah.
see
It's
if you
not-
were
it's not
unable
good.
to. We don't have an EpiPen.
Jeff,
here,
you
I'm
want to try?
afraid.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cricket
I'll eat a
flour.
little bit
Cricket
of cricket.
flour.
I don't know.
So we were talking about the quest for the perfect protein bar earlier.
Mhm.
I had a really bad one this morning that really threw off my day. What
Did it have crickets in it?
No, it was called like Power Crunch, and it tasted like the bastard child of like a Kit Kat and like the crap you find in the back of your grandparents' drawers.
So
and it was-
delicious. All right.
200 calories of trash. It was very trashy. And I saw this, and what possessed you to buy a cricket flower?
Well, first of all, what
bar?
do you think, Jeff?
It just tastes like another one of these things.
Yeah,
Like-
it's kind of mealy.
Mm-hmm.
I think they came with a bunch of different flavors. This is the cocoa flavor. I like the banana one as well. And blueberry, it's fine.
Is it like dried banana? Or is it
Tastes kind of grimy and
it's a
mealy.
little milly.
Like it's got like coconut in there. It's
Yeah.
got the mouthfeel of some coconut.
the mouth?
Yes, there is coconut.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Um,
hate coconut.
What?
I don't like. I like coconut water, coconut milk.
See, I
something
don't like
that,
coconut water, and I like coconut.
But like coconut flavored stuff, especially in candies.
Jason.
Like
I've
Mounds,
had
like
my
an
share of
almond joy, I just
cricket
can't
in the
do
past.
it.
I might die.
Okay.
I
I don't know. I
Very mealy.
I heard about it, and I really like the movie Snowpiercer.
oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought I'd try it.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah.
expensive. I don't-
Bugs are hella green as an energy source.
Yeah, they don't
They're-
produce
yeah,
a lot of
they're
methane apparently. and,
Extremely ecologically friendly.
They're hot right now.
It's
Ugh.
called EXO if you want to check it out. EXO.co.
As in like exoskeleton.
Oh man, that makes it weirder. I didn't think about that.
Ugh. Yeah, it's like,
They did not sponsor this in any way though. They're
No.
not paying me or anything.
I mean, it tastes good. The texture is kind of
It's like a dense brownie.
Yeah, with crickets in it.
Maybe a little bitter. Oh, I just bit into something weird.
All right. Well, on that note,
That's a fingernail.
whew.
Those are good for you. Don't worry.
Made in the USA.
I cricket in my teeth now.
Locally sourced crickets.
Jeff.
Hi.
Have you played any other good video games?
Good video games.
Just anything, I don't know, anything of note?
You know what? I have not played a lot of it, but I do want to play more of it. I will just say Bound
Yes.
is out.
Yes, I
and,
wanted to bring that up.
Bound looks incredible.
It is
and
fucking like flabbergastingly good. Like holy crap!
and
Really?
just the
Yeah.
way the animation translates, like your movement, the way it translates into animation, like you were dancing around
Yeah.
this world.
It is. It is.
Wait, how do you? Is it Connect or what?
No, you
No,
are
no,
you
no.
are you,
Oh.
you are
Your
it's
character.
It's
Is
a
it
platformer.
Connect?
It's
Okay.
a third person platformer,
Yeah.
but all the movement is in dance.
We should
So
say the actual gameplay like pretty simple.
you
from
run
what I've
around and
seen.
jump. It is there is art around this
Yeah.
that looks just the style of it
Yeah.
is really something
It
else.
seems I don't know for a fact, but they must have motion captured this. It looks incredibly realistic.
Mm-hmm. It's very
and-
special looking.
Yeah, and you kind of dance your way out of problems, like when you get attacked by this.
as I do in real life.
Yes, you just
This
break
sounds
into
Soft shoe my way out of there.
break into a routine.
I just
Um,
cut my way out. Just
I mean the look and setting are like very abstract. Like it's a lot of weird geometric shapes flying around you,
sitting
and
around and the levels
like, yeah,
building itself as you're
yeah.
walking forward onto it and stuff.
also they do this amazing thing where when you walk behind walls, instead of just like making the wall transparent, they will like deconstruct the wall. Like the
Yeah.
polygons will like erode as
Oh,
you
wow.
walk behind stuff.
That's a nice touch.
And then reform as you. It looks really cool.
It's beautiful.
It's very
It's-
striking.
yeah,
like the
wow.
look of the game is
Wow.
incredible. But yeah, like you're constantly getting assaulted by I don't know, like swirling energy patterns and stuff, and you dance.
And you
That's
dance.
when you dance.
Yeah.
Great.
Like you literally are like
So this is basically Michael Jackson's
taking
Moonwalk.
kinda.
Okay.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
Like
Yeah.
you literally
Any
start.
robots?
Are you saving children?
Not as yet.
No.
I mean, look, I don't want to spoil the end of the game. but
Okay.
No.
It's very short.
Yeah. I guess
Yeah.
it sounds like it's not that long.
It
Like I
seems-
said, I have not played that much of it, but yeah.
It's interesting because they let you pick the levels in any order,
Right.
And it seems geared toward replaying stuff because they're like there's a trophy for speed running every level in the game.
Okay.
So they
Yeah.
seem geared toward having you go back and like trying to dance very quickly through stuff, basically.
I don't
But,
know that I need that, but
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, you know,
It's-
if you're coming up with trophies for a game like that,
Yeah.
that is
It's neat that it's
largely meant to be
yeah.
experienced
Yeah.
once ish.
But it is so striking, like just the way
Yeah.
that it presents itself.
There's
is,
a
like,
quick look up on the
top-notch.
site right now
Yeah,
if you want
Dan.
to see more of that. They did that out
He's
east.
the least likely of people to play Bound, I think. Dan checked it out.
What's platforms?
It's
PS4.
just PS4.
PS4.
It's like it's one of their play games.
Yeah.
It was like their weird kind of successor to Summer of Arcade.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Play. Yes.
Yes.
that's
and
what
no,
they
no
call it.
similarity to Bound In.
No,
No.
Okay.
No.
The iOS game that
which is
Right.
also about dancing, right?
also about dance.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Quick look on the side of me
Yeah.
and Brad dancing together.
Oh God, that's right.
Mhm.
Don't watch that. Don't
Watch it.
Nope.
Mm. No, but that's more or less it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I messed around with some other stuff that I think we'll probably talk about next week.
Cool.
Attack on Titan and some other stuff.
Hey, yeah. I'm playing that too.
Anime-ass anime games. Oh, wait a minute. Are you guys not going to have your King of Fighters minute?
Oh, that's right. King of Fighters.
King of Fighters minute. Lots of new fighters.
Yeah, there are a lot of new fighters.
There's only one new fighter that matters.
Terry Bogard.
Yep, that's the one.
King of Dinosaurs.
He cut off his ponytail.
Yeah.
King of Dinosaurs.
Yeah,
And he's not even
not T-Zoc.
Is he not new?
He was in Mark of the Wolves.
Damn it.
But not. No, it's totally not him.
Totally not
Totally
T-Zoc.
different character.
I don't know who you're talking about.
King of Dinosaurs is unique and new and fresh.
So each of the well, not each of the characters, but a lot of the characters have like special dialogue between one another. And Terry actually, when he meets King of Dinosaurs, he's like, "Hey, what's up, T-Zoc?" And King of Dinosaurs is like, "Who? What do you? What?
Stay on brand here.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that game good?
Yeah.
Is it a worthy successor
That's
to the storied history of King of Fighters?
That might be debatable.
Yeah.
It solid gameplay.
Okay.
It plays and feels like a King of Fighters. Obviously, the visuals have changed now. They've moved into the 3D realm. They're kind of chasing that Street Fighter 4 money, I think. Trying to get into that realm.
Not that Street Fighter 5 money.
Not that Street Fighter 5 money, because there's no money to be had there. But yeah, dude, I really, really miss the sprites of the most recent games.
I mean, is that a gameplay thing? Like, no gameplay designer, but it seems like it maybe is hard to replicate that kind of crispness of sprites when you move into 3D.
Replicate. Well, I mean, we're seeing it done really, really well in like Guilty Gear, Exert. So it's totally possible. But
what if it's a perception thing?
It might be.
I think part of it is also like if you think about the SNK sprites, they've been using them for decades. Yeah.
True.
So like how many frames this Terry Bogard punch is more or less going to have, and it's going to hit like this and it's going to do this. And
wait, are you saying like did they not reanimate that for every game? Or
they did?
Yeah.
Well, no, they did not. I mean, I'm sure that they changed it over the years. I bet
or
if
like
you went back to
redrew
94
the
or
sprites,
something.
but like
It's been
but
like the same.
like when
for
you
a
were
long
when you were
time.
going from like KOF 97 to 98 to whatever, like were there whole sprites being reused for that stuff? Oh, I did not realize.
Yeah, that stuff's not.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
would it make sense
most of the
to animate like if there were like 4 frames for a punch? Do you think it would make sense for your polygonal models to jump 4 frames?
Well, I think that they
rather
are,
than interpolate.
I think
between.
they're getting the timing right.
Yeah, the
I
time-
mean,
like the speed is
the
what
feel
matters,
of
right?
it is there.
I think initially it feels a little bit slow, and
Yeah.
I think that might be due to having more frames of animation.
Right.
But I've seen some videos where they do like a compare and contrast of like the speed of moves in previous games to this one, and it's actually faster in some cases.
Really?
It's not on par. So
Wow.
Hmm.
it's just that I think it's mostly a perception thing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to be pretty familiar with all those sprites and have it go, which I did not experience this issue when Street Fighter did it, either in EX or in 4. Like when Street
4
Fighter
felt really, really like slow to me, I think, at first.
but it didn't feel like I didn't feel the need to compare it to 3 or even 2 at that point. Like maybe it's just because enough time had passed that it was like, okay, this is its own thing. It's definitely going to have its own feel to it, just like 3 had a distinct feel from 2.
Sure.
Maybe that's the with a lot of the SNK stuff having a lot of that same feel around the basics anyway. I mean, obviously they did make meaningful changes, but I don't. Yeah, so they put out a day 1 patch that supposedly makes changes to the netcode. I don't know if you've had any time to mess with that.
I was
at
able
all
to.
since.
I downloaded the patch last night. I was only able to find like 1 ranked match, and no lobbies at that time. So I think everybody was still like downloading the patch or whatever.
I found 1 ranked match last night also, and it was okay.
That's been I want to say
It was listing me as being 1 bar to the other guy having full bars,
which is
but
weird. Yeah, that hasn't been super consistent.
Okay.
I will say like I've played people cross coast, like down in Florida. I've played people in the UK, and those matches were either really good or pretty damn good. And that's saying something, especially when you take into consideration the previous games where the netcode was just terrible, just absolute garbage. But then again, I've also had a bunch of matches which they say that they're in my region, but they like play in slow motion, and it's really laggy.
But that was pre-patch, so
that was pre-patch.
That was one of the things. It's not in the patch notes, but I Facebook friends with someone who works at SNK and said that the patch that has this PS3 controller support in it also has netcode. So apparently it's got netcode changes in that day 1 patch.
Fingers crossed, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But either way, like it's this is hyperbolic, but infinitely better than the netcode in the previous game. For sure. So the real standout, in this game is, there's a really solid, roster of fighters. The game feels good. The netcode's pretty good so far, knock on wood. Where it takes a step back, I think, is in the visuals.
Art,
for sure.
Straight up.
The story, not that I super got into it in the previous games, but it's very bare bones now. The only, really, I don't know, kind of interesting things that do happen is when you choose a team made up of the original roster, the Fatal Fury team, groups that are meant to be together. Then you'll get a special ending or something like that, little comedic bits or whatever. That's kind of cool. But it's got, I think, most of what you're looking for. I just
wish
game.
the characters looked better or closer to.
I go back and forth with it. I'm not a huge fan, but they do some pretty spectacular stuff with some of the super climax moves or whatever. Those are animated pretty well.
Terry spins his hat around and he goes over the top.
It's business time.
Wait, I thought doesn't the ponytail go through the back of the hat?
Don't ask too many questions about Terry Bogart's ponytail.
It does not go through the back of the hat.
Defies physics.
No.
Okay.
No, that's silly. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Who would do that? He's not playing softball out there.
Okay, that's fair.
It's fighting.
But yeah, I mean, it's got training mode, of course. Very bare bones in that as well. Even some of the trials, where they give you a combo to do. There's only 5 of them per character, but then again, we're dealing with a shit ton of characters. But
is this an impossible fighting game to get into if you don't know it?
I think it. Maybe
yes.
at a competitive.
I'm gonna say probably.
Yeah, it's certainly at a competitive level, because there's 7 different jumps that you can do, which is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they're kind of hard to do.
There's a short hop. There's the default jump when you just jump. There's a medium hop. There's a short hop, and then there's an extra long hop. Right?
What's the difference between a hop and a
Sounds
jump?
right.
Where does skip factor in?
Yeah.
There's no skipping. Well, if you count the little thing that goes through projectiles, that could be seen as a skip depending on the animation. That could be
a hop, skip, and a jump.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
SNK's back.
SNK
they made a video game
back, and it's pretty damn good. And I can nitpick it, whatever. But
it has a spinning envelope that they rendered polygonally.
Yeah.
So.
And
I like that.
The first end boss is super cool. He's like a Fame Douglas kind of character, but shirtless, and he takes cigars out of his belt. It's pretty awesome.
He's got a lot of abs.
There are some abs.
Yeah, he has a few extra
in reserve. I mean, this game is just interesting from an academic standpoint, even if you're not a big KOF person, just because, hey, SNK is making video games again, and let's see what kind of chops they got.
Well, they kind of didn't stop, really.
I mean, I guess,
but yes,
there was a trickle, and it was mostly
they've been
fighters,
doing re-releases and not developing those re-releases themselves and stuff like that. But the SNK name has been on games fairly steadily.
But in the post pachinko world, it's they have reasserted themselves and said, we're going back to this officially.
Yes. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and that's after all those really bad mobile ports and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of if you look at this as an early sign of things to come from them.
I think it's a great first step.
Sounds fairly promising.
I figure they'll make Samurai Showdown next. That seems like if you're
I would love that.
if you're going down the list of popular franchises that you would probably do, that has to be what they do after this.
I mean, if they're interested in cashing in on nostalgia, that seems like the obvious thing, right?
That's all they got. I don't know that we're gonna see here's brand new IP from SNK. I don't think that's gonna be their approach.
But specifically, just list a priority. It's what are the things people love from SNK? King of Fighters, Samurai Showdown.
Yeah, and then there's the bubbling undercurrent of every interview. They have to mention Mark of the Wolves because that dude just says I really feel like I need to make a Mark of the Wolves sequel. And then everyone goes, yeah, you fucking do. That'd be great. You should do that.
We should see that on PS4 pretty soon.
Right, the original, yeah.
Last Blade was a re-release on there, and it was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Garo and more T-Zoc.
Yes.
You think they start bringing back non-fighting game properties?
Like some Metal Slug?
Yeah, Metal Slug.
I could see Metal Slug.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nostalgia cells?
Yeah, I guess so. This new Magician Lord.
Yeah. Magician Lord. They were working on it too, I thought. No, I think of Cross Swords. There was a Cross Swords 2 that I think was only out on the CD.
Community Super Spy.
Or something. Yeah.
King of the Monsters.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Okay.
Ninja Combat.
No.
No.
Cyberlip 2.
Cyberlip 2. I fucking love Cyberlip.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That seems
so many good
like
games.
a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know what to
Like,
expect. But
yeah,
other than I bet they would make another Metal Slug. 'Cause I think that's like
could-
their most popular non-fighting thing.
I could totally see that.
And there are some like kind of spiritual Metal Slug knockoffs coming out on Steam and stuff like that these
Right.
days. Like that, there's some.
But those aren't the real medals.
No, I
Yeah.
agree. But
They
there's
made one
there's
recently.
an appetite for that.
They did a free-to-play
3DS?
thing. Yeah,
Free-to-play.
there's a. I think there is some kind of thing out on 3DS as
Okay.
well.
There's a DS. I can't remember.
Yeah, definitely DS, maybe 3DS.
An S
as
of
well.
some kind.
Yeah, it's out on the S. Yeah,
Yes.
Xbox One S.
Yes, it was on a screen.
Yeah.
For sure. Alexa,
Hi.
what's going on?
Anime.
Yeah.
a
I think we've been over this.
lot of anime.
This is a
Plenty
video
of
game
anime.
podcast. Unless it's an anime video game, I guess that's technically allowed.
There's
Yeah.
There are some of those
Yeah?
out there. Yeah.
Like
Totally.
Attack on Titan.
Oh, Attack on Titan.
Yeah, we can't
A-
like you've been playing it. a
I
little bit.
played the first 10 minutes. So
Been playing sounds
So-
generous.
We can't
but
say anything. We can't like definitively, I guess, judge it yet. but
So
guess
I
we
don't
can
know
talk about it.
anything about the Attack on Titan property. I just immediately assumed it was
Are
robots.
you kidding me?
And I figured like, oh, this is probably some more mecha stuff.
Oh, Jeff,
I
I'm
thought it
so
was
sorry.
Titan
Just some kind of
AE.
Titanfall. I just, was thinking, I don't know what I was thinking.
I am
Yeah.
so sorry.
Titans reads as robots to me. So when I get in the game and see like, oh, they made like a Dynasty Warriors with Spider-Man flipping around and I'm fighting giant naked men,
Sometimes
I was
skills,
like,
yeah.
this is way cooler than I thought it would be.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's fuck, man.
It's so the anime is kind of gross and like it's gained like a really wide appreciation. I can see why people like it. I really
It
like
had such a. It was coming up so often that
Yeah.
I figured it had to. That maybe that's also why I figured it was robots. So like, it's got to be this big mainstream thing. Like, so
Yeah.
many people are talking about Attack on
it,
Titan.
It gained this reputation of being like the anime for everybody else, or like the anime that non-anime
Yeah.
people would watch. or
So
something.
I guess another reason why I would not suspect it to be about large naked men, but it's great that it is.
Large naked men
Yes.
are very popular. So
Well,
No, they're the
I don't
best.
know.
This is a new Choaniki
I am
game.
sometimes a large naked man, and I can say I do okay. But yeah,
I don't know. I just think there's too many naked men in this game. Like you have to hack the limbs off before you can actually like kill them. So like if I had $1 for every time I was flying down on top of a prone naked man with his ass in the air, I would have a lot of money.
Tell me about it.
So would I.
So
face down, ass up. That's the way we like to attack.
Attack
on
our Titans,
Yeah,
exactly.
that is.
Exactly.
Everyone says that.
And it's like it's fine. Like there was an Attack on Titan game that came out I think like last year or a couple of years ago by Atlas that was just super trash.
I didn't
It,
hear
like,
good stuff about that. No.
No, it was not good. And like I feel like it's Koei Tecmo made this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they've done too many they've grafted too many IPs onto the Muso genre. Like now there's the Aslan one that came out, and then there was this horrible Legend of Zelda one
Yeah,
that came out a couple years
Once
ago.
the Zelda thing happened, I was like, nothing is sacred anymore.
Well, the Zelda
That
thing
was not
happened. and
horrible.
Yeah, but
it was horrible because that story was absolute trash. It was like the most un-Zelda thing I've ever seen.
Also, if we take like one further step back, Dynasty Warriors is awful. So they're grafting properties onto like
Onto
a
Dynasty
bad
Warriors.
foundation. It's like, hey, we've got this burning trash fire. Let's put Gundams on it. Maybe that'll get people to buy it.
it's the burning trash fire that people can't get
It's
enough of.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
It's the definitive burning trash fire
Of our time.
of our time, and everyone is out there getting involved, and now all these other IPs have to be a part of it.
So is that what this is? Except with giant naked men?
So I feel like this one is maybe a bit more removed from the core mechanics
Yeah,
of a
it's-
zillion things happening on
yeah.
screen.
It's very
But
it's very
you
different.
see it. You
Okay,
do see
okay.
the mini map, the
map in
things you
particular.
see.
Yeah.
things.
It's,
All right.
Yeah, it's basically a Dynasty Warriors game. I mean it's cool, I guess, but I wish if they were gonna go like full trash fire, they would like just pick a trash fire IP and just like run with it.
Quarantine it.
It's called
Yeah.
Dynasty Warriors. They've been running with it for generations.
Yeah.
Ugh.
When was the last Dynasty Warriors game that came out?
Dynasty Warriors 8
They
came
never
out
got past
Yeah,
8,
I
right?
feel like-
recently.
I know they put out like 5 versions of 8 or something.
Yeah, but then it's like
the year
X,
before?
XL, and did he do another Samurai Warriors recently?
Probably.
Sure.
I
There
feel
was
like
a One Piece one as well
Oh,
recently.
right.
Another One Piece
Yeah.
one recently.
I feel like every 4 months another envelope shows up with another disc in it
And it's
from and it's another Dynasty Warriors 8 variant.
Sure.
Extreme Legends.
Sure.
Super Pro. Yeah.
Empires.
yeah.
EX,
Empires, right.
EX,
Yeah.
EX Turbo plus Alpha.
Probably an Origins in there somewhere.
Yeah,
Yes,
why
very,
not?
Yeah.
very possibly.
Yeah, that thing.
That Attack on Titan.
Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
Attack on
Yeah, we'll look
Titan.
at that. What is today's
You have to
date?
watch it now.
I
We'll look at that. Oh,
I watched
you know what? We will
one
look at that later
episode.
this week. I
Oh,
think.
The embargo is Friday
Okay.
Yeah.
for review.
Yeah,
Okay.
the 30th or whatever. I watched one episode, and there's so much screaming in that game. Like, just a normal conversation. Like, hey, how's it going?
Are you watching the Japanese version or the English dub?
I don't know anymore.
You would know.
He lost the ability to
Unless you're
interpret.
fluent in
it,
both.
it was probably like a year ago that I checked it out because like everybody's watching it or whatever.
It's
so.
very good.
Yeah.
Is it?
It
Like,
goes
when
off
does
the
it get-
rails.
I watched about half an episode and it was like, oh, this is too anime for me.
All right, anime. Let's talk about it.
Yay!
Is it Code Geass?
Yes.
Is that good? I
Yes.
caught an episode of that on the Cartoon Network like 4 years ago and saw like half of one, and I was like, you're walled in this city and you got robots. That looks like it might be kind of cool. Is that kind of cool?
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
Okay. All right.
Are you a fan of the giant mech robot? I'm assuming that's your jam.
In theory, I would be
More
but
of a
not-
giant naked man guy.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I guess I don't know. Not like I did not get super into Macross as a kid or anything like that.
Macross has a lot of singing in it and a lot of fancy costume changes.
That sounds great. But
be for
at this
you.
point, now that there are like a zillion episodes of that thing,
Yes.
it's hard to even know where to dive.
I would watch a
into
Mech
it.
Warrior musical.
Hmm.
Yeah, is
You
that
should-
what that is?
Kind of. They have like the women. A lot of the women in those I almost said game in those series have like their singing does something. So they have like every single
Like Gem?
yeah, like every single series has like a pop star.
Great.
And one of them were, I think, Macross Frontier was literally like the A plot was the wannabe pop star and the pop star, and in this love triangle, and the B plot was the giant mechs.
Okay. Seems
Yeah.
like the right ratio to me.
Is
pretty good.
Is Ghost in the Shell the series standalone complex actually worth watching?
Yes.
Okay, because that's we that game came out on Steam,
You
and so
should
we
also
covered it,
watch
and
that.
so that led to me watching the original film
Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell.
Me too.
So-
Decades later.
Yeah.
And decades removed from its time, it's a hard. I found it to be a hard watch.
It is.
In that nothing happens. People are like, "Oh, you just didn't understand it." It's like, no, I'm not an idiot. You would have to be a child to not understand what is happening in this thing. It's just nothing fucking happens. It's got style for sure, but like I feel like even that style has maybe worn thin in the decades. Like it was probably very impressive from an animation standpoint back then. But
Yes,
standalone
endorse.
complex actually works. Okay, because everyone said like you need to watch that, and I was like, you're all lunatics, but okay, all
It's
right.
good. It's
All
very
right.
good. I've assumed you've also seen Cowboy Bebop. If we're gonna go with recommending,
I
new
am
anime.
aware of it, but I have not.
Jeff.
I don't want to.
You might get into
It's
that
a,
one.
it's a
I don't
space opera. It's very good.
Like Star Wars, Jeff.
Yeah, that's
Star
okay.
Wars
I'm
with-
out. No thanks.
You're not a Star Wars fan?
No, not at all. No.
I think
God, no.
you should watch Bubblegum Crisis.
Yeah,
Are you
Yes.
that's like
'Cause
6
it's-
episodes.
Okay.
You're in,
'cause
you're
it's
out.
Okay.
A, it's super short. B, it is very 80s cyber.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
That's actually if I really wanted to pin
It's-
down the aesthetic that I would
yes.
be looking for, it is 80s
That
cyber.
so that
Cyber?
that thing in addition to being short is it's Blade Runner plus big hair
Yeah.
plus Japanese glam rock.
Priss and the Replicants.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
like that
Bubblegum
is that.
Crisis.
like
So,
Pretty
like I intend to watch a
Night the
zillion
Hurricane.
at some point.
right.
Yeah.
Just because I played the game on the Master System and I
Oh,
liked it.
oh, right,
So
yeah.
Isn't that like your avatar on the forum as well?
yeah, I think I.
Oh,
yeah, I
is
think
that
so.
anime,
Yeah,
big,
I believe
anime
it
big
is.
hair?
I
If
didn't-
you like anime, big hair ladies.
I mean, yeah.
Do you like fantasy or is it just?
I don't really like fantasy.
No?
Yeah, just generally speaking. So
Okay.
I think we've had this conversation about Lord of the Rings
Yeah. Yeah.
as to why I don't like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Do you like puppets?
Oh,
Kind of.
Here we go.
So
Here we go.
there's it's not an anime, but it's written by one of like the best anime writers, Gen Urobuchi, and it's called Thunderbolt Fantasy, and it's a wuxia drama with
Okay.
Taiwanese glove puppets.
all right.
Just live action.
Like
with
live action
puppets.
filmed puppets?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all
And
right.
they
Now
use-
you're speaking my language.
And they use some CGI and some special effects. It's a wuxia drama, so there's like a lot of like big sword attacks and like glowing things, and the script is really funny and really well done, and like the production value is fantastic.
Huh.
You've seen it.
I'm gonna back you up on this. It's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Like special effects and just like the production behind it. I'm not following the story so much because usually it's just like on the TV and then I'm like working on something. Lisa's watching it, but I look over every now and again. It's like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
The music is
Holy
fantastic.
shit. These are
doing?
handmade fucking
All right.
dolls.
The last
and
puppet thing I
puppets.
got way into was Sifl and Ollie. Is it like
yeah.
that? Yes, no.
the
yeah. I mean, pretty
puppets
much right
look
there.
like
pretty
You can
much
see
right
the
there, right?
influence,
Yeah,
really. but-
okay.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. There's only, I think it's ongoing right now, and it's the next episode comes out on Friday. But it is so freaking good. Episodes are like 20 minutes long.
Where do you watch it?
Crunchyroll.
Ooh.
It's on Crunchyroll.
Did you watch the Phantasy Star Online 2 anime?
I did.
I saw the first episode of that, and it looked like a travesty on a lot of levels.
It was not for me. I passed it by.
I played a lot of that game, and
Don't watch
that.
anime.
That did not help. That did not lead me to go like, finally a show about someone else who plays this game. But what if the game was real? And it made me want to die.
Yeah, that's basically the plot of like Sword Art Online,
Mhm.
which is an okay anime as well. But no, there's nothing for you in Phantasy Star Online.
There's got to be a Hatsune Miku anime, right?
Everywhere. You can actually watch one of her live action concerts on
Yeah, I think
Crunchyroll.
she supersedes anime, right?
Yeah,
she's
she's
like
beyond.
a lifestyle at this point.
I think I should.
She's the all-being.
I
My
keep thinking
lifestyle.
about buying a Vocaloid.
Wait,
You mean
sorry,
like a
what?
Like the voice. No, like the actual like
For
synth
the-
Oh, okay.
voice
plugin.
for music making.
thought we were
and
done
that sort of
talking
stuff.
about mechanical apartheid.
What would you
No,
do?
no.
What would you do with it?
I don't know, write songs. I don't know. Why not? I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
You
Last
get
time,
like your own custom Vocaloid.
no.
and,
You,
like,
well, if you wanted to,
like
if you
you
wanted
own
to
the
make,
rights to.
no, you're buying
Okay.
Cyber Diva, the English language
Okay.
Vocaloid.
Can you
and-
change her tone?
Probably. I don't actually know.
Ooh.
I've not touched the Vocaloid software in years, and last time I looked at it, it was impenetrable. So I imagine that now that Hatsune Miku has happened and blown up real big, I bet that stuff got a lot better and easier to work with. So I kind of want to mess
Oh,
with
you
that.
should do it.
Because that would be fun. And I mean, at this point, you could throw so many extra effects on it that you would end up in a situation where no one would even have to know that it was not a real
yeah.
voice.
What would you write songs about?
I don't know, just whatever. Just hand trucks. A lot of it'd be 9 songs about Shove It, the warehouse game for the Genesis, basically like a full cycle.
So a concept album.
Totally,
Got it.
yeah.
Do it.
High end stuff.
Yes.
So those things are actually not. I was looking recently. Like it's not that expensive. Like I figured the Vocaloid stuff. Like a lot of the VSTs, a lot of plugins for music production. You can suddenly realize like, oh, I'm spending like $700 for Sample Tank or whatever it is. But like that thing is surprisingly affordable for what it was. It was maybe like $200 or something. So getting a fake lady voice would be kind of fun.
And you put it that way.
Do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe.
Alexa, you play anything else
No.
of note? Nothing. That's it.
No.
All anime all the time over there.
Yeah, we're kind of like, I'm planning a bunch of like shows and a bunch of other like stuff right now. So
Yes.
right now it's just me and Attack on Titan. But I'll hopefully have the new Ace Attorney in the next day or two.
There's a new Ace Attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Spirit of Justice.
What is that? Number
6.
6?
Yep.
Okay. Still attorneying.
Yeah, well,
Those games are pretty much the same, right?
Well, they all kind of like add a new mechanic.
Yeah,
I just recently, I'm close to finishing it. I haven't played another game. What's wrong with me? When I was in Japan last year, I bought a Japanese 3DS and I bought a Daigakuten Saiban, which is the Meiji era Ace Attorney, and it's
Okay.
so steeped in Japanese culture and so like historically like relevant to Japan, and like it has like Sherlock Holmes and Watson in it, and Watson is like a 12-year-old girl with pink hair, and it's very Japanesey.
Very accurate.
They didn't localize it. So I'm studying for the Japanese language proficiency exam at the end of the year, and I've been using that game to test my kanji and to like learn like words that I don't know. So I'm like almost done with
That
it.
sounds rough. How many kanji are you up to? Do you have a count?
A painful amount.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting
What's
there.
the number? Is it, there's like a cutoff, right, for literacy?
There's a cutoff. I think I can recognize maybe like 1,000.
Wow, that's good.
But
That's
there's
pretty
more?
solid.
But there's more.
Oh
than
yeah,
that.
no, there's
like,
tons. There's like what is there?
There's like too many.
Yeah.
But I can piece
Many
them together.
thousands.
Many thousands. If you like, there's like radicals in it. Like
Yeah.
this means house and
Yeah.
this means woman. And like, if I see them, I can piece together meaning. I just can't like read it, but we're getting there.
Is the proficiency test like the thing that they give foreign service?
So the proficiency test is for like you can take it in Japan. I think they have to take it. But like if you are a foreigner who's looking for like a work visa or
Oh, I
who's
see.
looking to like work in Japan or is like they love their standardized tests. So this is the standardized test for like I say on my resume I can read and speak Japanese. Here's the proof. Here's my whatever level score.
And
is.
Japan
There's 5
hands you-
levels.
That proof.
Yes.
Okay.
You take the test and they're like, yeah, awesome.
Do you get a card?
Konnichiwa.
Yeah, you get
I think it's
you
what
get
they
like a thing that's like you passed this level,
Yeah.
and like I've passed the like lowest level, and
Yeah.
I've passed the second lowest level, and I'm trying for the second highest level this year. So like
What are the levels called?
N1 is the hardest, and
Okay.
N5 is the easiest.
All right. Is there like a color associated or?
Actually, I think
Different
so.
type
I think
of cat.
so.
Is there a different cat
Yeah.
icon associated with each level?
think
I want it to be like mechs. I want it to be like you get like a
You get, like,
shoulder
the mech.
painting on it, like
I
a
wish.
stripe of a certain color, and N2.
I would love that. I bet there is, and Japan only
She's a
gets
level
it.
2.
Jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they get the jumpsuits in Japan. I don't think we get anything
Okay.
in America.
All right, play Asia.
You should definitely take the test there then.
I would love to, but yeah, all like the directions are in Japanese too. So if like you don't understand like a specific word, it's like, well, guess you don't know what the directions are. Good luck.
I suppose that makes sense.
If you,
in some horrible way.
If anything on you like vibrates or rings, like I was in they kick you out. So I was in a testing room and one person's phone vibrated like in the middle of the room, and the teacher heard it, got up and just kicked them out. Like you literally can't have like they're very like it's very regimented, very strange.
Somebody
Very
could be
intense.
somebody could be sending you Morse code of
Yes.
something. You know,
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. So.
Cool. These things are standardized
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yeah.
So Phoenix Wright, pretty good still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to hear.
Still pretty great. This new one is a little more like they kind of like took the spirituality out of the game, and now they're like going full on like mystical voodoo, which
Okay.
is cool.
Excellent.
I would rather just see a ghost trick too at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Was that those guys? Same people?
I want to say
Similar
maybe,
team.
possibly.
They're all in that same
Yeah,
area
yeah,
somewhere.
right.
Stop
Yeah.
giving us 10,000 versions of Monster Hunter and give us a ghost trick.
Yeah, no kidding, right? It's almost like Capcom is fighting for survival and has to put out the games that work to keep itself afloat.
Yep. Something
9
like
more
that.
Monster Hunter games.
Yep.
Get them
And
going.
Do it.
And a
Street Fighter.
Resident
Oh
Evil.
no! Make that 18 more Monster Hunter games.
We tried. We tried our best. I apologize for the latest segue in podcast history, but speaking of Titans,
Go on.
we should probably talk about
That's
Titanfall
great.
too.
Right? Yeah, I totally forgot.
I know,
about that.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
not
They-
naked men.
Yeah, they
Not-
are not. But you
Well,
know,
you don't know what's going on under there.
it's just a tech test, so we can only assume that in the final game you can play as a naked man. Titanfall 2 is good. I like
Yeah.
it. I don't know, like the reaction seemed mixed.
Yeah.
Over the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm hearing
Uh,
very, very negative stuff.
surprised
Yeah,
as he
it
like
was,
as the weekend wore on, like this backlash appeared to be
So-
forming.
I like what is in that test, provided that there are things that are in the final game that are not in this test, right?
Okay.
And that's the thing where only one of the 3 modes they're showing has AI in it, and the AI guys are used in a slightly different way than they were in the attrition mode in Titanfall 1.
How so?
Where they are the focal point of like, okay, it's a wave-based thing. So in their bounty mode, like AI-controlled characters will drop in. You gun them down to earn dollars. Then between rounds,
Okay.
you cash in the dollars at one of the banks.
They are the objective.
They are the objective.
Okay,
You also
okay.
earn dollars for killing opposing team pilots.
But you have to kill them.
But
right?
yeah. The goal is for both teams to kill all of the AI, and that's
So
what
they're
causes
like-
the wave to end.
Creeps.
Yeah, I mean, well, they
Oh,
were all, they
no.
were,
Yeah.
that's the
Oh,
thing though.
no.
They were way more like creeps in Titanfall 1, I think.
Oh.
But in the first game, from what I remember, they were kind of just fodder to fill out the map in a mode that didn't have a lot of actual
But
players.
And to
also,
make me feel good.
So also
Yeah.
you earn your Titan by doing things. More
Okay.
so in this game, like I think that I want to say the timer is gone completely. It used to just be a timer, and when you killed something, it was like, oh, that's 3 seconds off your timer.
Yeah.
Now I think it is literally just like as you get hits, it's like 4%,
Like you're building up
8%.
to-
You're building up to
Yeah.
100%
I
Titan,
feel
and
like
then
you have
can
to
call
work
it in.
harder
Yeah.
this time around.
It seems like
I
it.
played a few matches where I never even got a Titan.
Yeah.
It's kind of frustrating.
So I
sorry.
think that's something they need to balance out. And so they said one of the things they said about the test was like, okay, we know we need to increase the Titan build rate in this mode. So just like it was a whiteboard that was just like Titan spawn plus.
There we
So
go.
they know that. And yeah, so I think that's the change is that like in that mode, and also so that's the change is that is the only mode that has the AI in it. The pilots on pilots one does not have it. And the hardpoint like capture domination style mode that they have in there, I believe that also doesn't have AI. AI, I feel like, is a big part of that game. When you strip it out, it should be for, hey, we're having a weird separate pilots on pilots fight that is not part of the main game. It's just something we added in.
Right.
Like AI, I think, is core to that thing, and more of the modes should have it than not. So if that's the direction they're going in, I think that's maybe an issue. Because when you strip away the AI, it really just kind of turns it back into a more standard shooter
Right.
with some mobility options.
Like I saw people very snidely just saying, "Oh, they're turning it into Call of Duty."
Yeah, and so that's, they've got a sniper rifle in there. And so I didn't realize this at the time, but apparently they draw a fat red outline around other human players.
I'm guessing you can't really
I
see it.
could not see the red at all. My understanding is that
there is a colorblind mode,
so
right?
the colorblind options as of that tech test do not color that line.
Sweet.
Oh.
But that is fixed apparently. That will be the case. I've seen some stuff
I wonder if
Awesome.
that
I wonder
sounds
if any
like
of the-
that will be addressed.
I wonder if I assume some of these changes will probably get hot fixed for next weekend,
I
right? 'Cause
believe
they're-
that's the case.
So it's down right now.
and it'll be back.
Right,
It'll be
but
a
it's
backup
coming
for the
back-
weekend.
coming
yeah.
back this weekend.
I don't know if people that have a code, they might still be able to play if they got in that way. I'm not actually sure.
Yeah.
I should try it. So yeah, so when they draw that outline around the player, I wonder if that then is also just inciting sniping because you've got these larger than Call of Duty sized maps, but maybe not fully the size of a Battlefield map. So the distance between players is longer than Call of Duty. So you're kind of like, that doesn't seem like a shotgun kind of game. It's not an SMG kind of game. It's really assault rifle and higher in terms of range. So I think they're kind of like they're giving people more incentive to snipe, which is not how I like to play my shooters and not how I like to have them played on me. So there were more instances of just like, I'm running, jumping. Oh, I'm dead. I don't know why. So, someone all the way across the map shot me. That's what happened.
That's not
So I
fair.
wonder if the outlines around the players is just kind of making that slightly easier. I don't actually know since I can't see the outline.
Also, I mean, in the first game, there wasn't any obvious way to tell at a glance who was AI and who. Like, obviously, if you knew the models,
Right.
you could figure it out, and over
Yeah.
time, you would get used to it. But like at distance, there was no like glaring indicator. Like, this is a player, this is AI, right? Like, wasn't it a little more ambiguous?
Once you would never confuse the two things just because of how they move.
I guess that's fair.
So
But I mean, there was no UI around differentiating
Yeah,
the two,
yeah.
like there is now.
So that's a change, and I wonder if that is leading to more sniping and stuff like that. Like I don't think that's a fun game at range. Like that's a fun game when you are wall running, looking down at someone and shooting them, and like tightening it up a little bit. Whether that's AI because you're running across the map to get to the other players doesn't matter. As long as you've got something to do as you're doing it, then you're getting across the map to where the real action is and feeling like a raw dog murdering motherfucker the whole time
Yeah.
because you're killing all this AI as you get there and earning your next Titan as you go. Like that was the flow, the kind of loop of Titanfall that I think was really awesome in that first game.
And I seem to be missing that in this one. With the addition of like the grappling hook, the extreme parkour and exactly what you were just talking about, feeling like a badass motherfucker jumping between buildings and killing people. It seems like there's less instances of that.
Well, I think that's due to the modes, and I think, and
I think it's more the maps.
maybe that as well, but like if you think about it in terms of how attrition mode worked in the previous game, it could be that same map, but you would see AI guys running out of doors and doing stuff all over the map.
Sure.
Whereas right now, AI guys are going to point A and point B, and they're all spawning right there, and they're all right there.
Gotcha.
So you have to get to those points to get in those fights. They're localized. They're not across the
yeah.
map the way they normally were.
I see what you're saying.
So I just don't think that's as fun. And I think I actually like that bounty hunt mode. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't hang the entire game on that. And if they're hoping to hang the entire game on that, that's maybe a problem. Unless they've got all those other modes in there that they're just, obviously it's a tech test. It's not every mode. It's certainly not all of the gear that's in the game. Because that was my main problem with the first game, is that it just didn't have enough options for you as a player when you're building your loadout. It was like, okay, well, this is generally how I like to play. There's one gun that fits that style of play. Done. I've unlocked all the things I need to unlock, and there's no carrot, no stick, no nothing. Like I could level up and reset over and over again, but why? Like it was just a very short upgrade path. So if they're lengthening that out with more gear and more options, then that's a good thing. But I have to see where their modes end up, like what modes they end up shipping with and that sort of stuff. Because I think the modes without AI don't feel like Titanfall. And if they're going further in that direction, I think that's a bad thing. But you want that option. I think it's important to have that as an option. Because when they had the pilots on pilots mode and then they added that to Titanfall 1, I think it was a cool, fun change.
Cool, fun.
It was like, oh man, look at this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
They turned it into like a little Call of Duty thing or something. This is super fun.
At the same time,
It's a cool side thing.
It's a cool side thing.
Right,
But
but
should not be the main thing.
I may be wrong, but I feel like somebody was telling me recently that if you look in on Titanfall 1 now, like a large bulk of the players are playing that pilot mode.
Yeah, I think that's
really?
That is the thing that happened, is that they made the game with the cool robots in it, and then at some point people said like,
Yeah,
So
the robots got kind of sidelined.
And I wonder, so maybe other people had the same experience that I did, where in the early days of Titanfall, I was really good at being in the robot. And then everyone got really good at being in the robot, and now those things are just dead immediately. And with the grappling hook in Titanfall 2, it's way easier to even get on top of the robot to, start the process of murdering it.
Poor robots.
Than it was before. Though that process is different with batteries and all, like that stuff has changed. So I don't know, like the robots, the Titans feel weaker maybe than they ever have. And so like that stuff's a little strange. So I think that's why players started to gravitate towards the pilot modes, is because like, like even when I was calling down my Titan at some point, when I was hot and heavy into Titanfall 1, I got to a point where I just stopped getting in the Titans. I called it down because it has AI, it'll go around and it'll distract people, and there's stuff around that.
Yeah.
But
you just used it like a turret.
Totally.
Yeah.
I found that I was more effective out of the Titan.
I can see that.
So if they're adding wall running Titans and Titans with swords and all this other stuff, then that's the stuff that.
Yes.
Oh, none of that is in the test.
None of that's in the test.
Okay.
Titans with swords.
Yeah. So if that stuff's in there,
Now it's anime.
No, it's anime.
kind of. I mean, yeah, kind of. Then I think that changes the role of the Titan in matches and stuff like that, or could potentially make really meaningful changes to that gameplay. But that's not there yet, so it's hard to know. I think it's really promising. I understand why people are like kind of shitting on it, but I still think that the core of that thing is really well made, and if the rest of that game is what I hope it is, everything will be fine. If that is indicative of the style of the rest of the game, we're like, 2 of our 3 modes don't really have this stuff in it, I think that's heading in the wrong direction, but we'll see.
It's close, right?
It's October, end of October.
2 months
Wow.
away.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Yep.
What the fuck happened to this year?
Right. Yeah, no, it's like summer is over.
Terrifying.
Like I was taking out my garbage cans this morning, and they were just soaking wet from mist.
Yes.
Summer's done. There was a bunch of traffic today. School's back in.
As we said, the season of Madden is upon us.
John Madden ruins everything.
Drew, you play anything else before we move on into news?
I've been getting and modifying X-Plane.
What?
Okay.
Do you know X-Plane?
Vaguely?
It's basically what came after Microsoft stopped making Flight Simulator.
Okay.
So I think Microsoft last made their real, like, hey, you want to fly a 737 Flight Simulator
Ages ago, right?
in 2004 or something.
Right.
And they came out with Microsoft Flight Simulator
X. 10 X.
And where
I think it's X.
did Flight fit in there? Didn't they do that?
Maybe that was the one. I think
Right.
X was maybe the last, like,
Last
real
the
one.
real one,
And then
Flight.
Microsoft Flight came out. It was like this free-to-play weird thing
Yeah.
that you could not click all the buttons in the cockpit.
It was like a bad pilot wing.
Fuck
Yeah.
that.
It's like, why would you want that? So X-Plane came in and was like, all right, listen, we know all you weird people out there need one of these
You
games.
bought these cockpits already. You built the simulator
Yeah.
in your garage. You need something to do on it.
Right. So that's basically what X-Plane is.
Okay.
And it's been
Wow.
around forever and is one of those games that just keeps existing, and people keep modifying it and upgrading it and selling their mods. So you can buy, like, it comes with
Wow.
this plane, but if you want a better version of that plane, you go to this other third-party guy, and he's selling his for like $20.
Joe made a better plane.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So like a black market for
yeah.
like plane mods.
Yeah, I mean, they don't discourage it. There's like a store and everything.
Yeah, there are people selling mods for old Flight Simulator, for that matter.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching a video about some
Wow.
like World War I flight
Okay.
thing. Like, it's like a
Yeah.
$30 mod for one of the old versions of Flight Simulator.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
So
it's
are they good
weird.
at facilitating that stuff in game? Like, is there a centralized hub for these third party?
There's a website. There's also like a user generated content thing where you can
Okay.
download stuff for free.
Yeah.
I remodeled San Francisco so it looks more accurate. You know, that sort of thing.
More hoodies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. You look down and see all the tech people. It's
Yeah. More
accurate.
buses on the roads.
Right.
You can strafe the fucking buses.
If you install that World War I mod, then you can. With a Sopwith camel.
Yeah.
But it's very, I don't want to say rudimentary, but it's you gotta do some work.
You gotta want it.
Yeah, you gotta want it.
Yeah.
And basically why I've been diving into this is because I'm finally giving
Accepting
it a shot.
that you're a lunatic.
Well,
Great.
I did that
I
years
love the
ago.
word. Yeah.
but I'm finally giving a shot to getting my pilot's license.
I knew it. I knew
That's
that's where this was going. You're gonna start
awesome.
logging hours. It's gonna,
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man.
Wow.
That's scary.
And I talked to my instructor about it, and he didn't really know much about flight sims, but he did tell me, like, hey, most of your hours are going to come from landing, because landing is apparently the hardest part of everything. What the first lesson we did, he allowed me to
Landing well.
taxi, take off,
Yeah.
landing and surviving.
Anyone can land.
Yeah. But I did everything on that first lesson except for land. I did end up landing on the second one, but it wasn't as clean as I would have liked. So I'm hoping that with X-Plane I can practice landing. So so I already had a HOTAS set up with the joystick and the throttle, but like the Cessna 172 that I'm flying doesn't have that. They have a yoke, right? That looks more like a steering wheel. So the same company that made my joystick, CH Products, also makes a yoke. So I bought one of those.
Oh wow.
And bolted it to my desk. And I'm using X-Plane to practice landings.
That's intense.
Super rad.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
What kind of plane are you going up in?
It's a Cessna 172, so it's like it's a 4-seater, with one engine up front, the over wing kind, very stable.
You get the little electronic headsets where you can talk to each other and
Yeah.
hear
So
what's going on.
there's all this gear that I bought as that I need to have as a student pilot, and that's been sort of fun too. I bought the headsets. You've probably seen them in movies. They're like that
Gigantic
that
cans.
green,
Yeah.
that, like lime green with the microphone.
Yeah.
I bought a knee pad, or not a knee pad, a knee board that you strap around your leg and then you put a clipboard into.
Wow.
I bought a flashlight to it has to have normal light so you can like look in the engine compartment and like see if there's a bird's nest in there or something. But then also it has to have red light so that if you're flying at night you don't lose your night vision. So I bought a flashlight that stargazers use.
Okay.
That does both.
Wow.
And you can regulate the intensity of each button, or each light. So that's been really awesome.
Man.
So
That is
That's
intense.
awesome.
yeah.
Look forward to some future flight updates.
How many hundreds of hours do
Captain
you need to
Drew.
log before you are a licensed pilot?
So that's the weird part. Like the range, you ask anyone, you get a different answer because it all really depends on your knowledge of the subject.
Okay.
And how well you retain the information that you need to, and how long it takes you to master something like
Okay.
landing.
I thought it was one of those things where it's like you need to have 200 hours before we'll license you, or
I think
some.
there are certain thresholds you have
Yeah.
to hit. I don't know what those are. I think
Okay.
you have to you reach a certain number of instructed hours to do your solo flights, and then a certain number of solo flights to take your final test.
Yeah, so is it more about passing tests than it is having like an hour count?
It's both, but I think you are going to hit your hour count
Yeah.
before you are ready to take the test.
Okay.
But I'm hoping that practicing with X-Plane will cut down on the amount of money I need to spend, because it is a lot. I put aside, been spending or saving up for this because it is a really expensive hobby.
Yeah.
And it's going to take me a while, but I'm hoping that it'll work out.
Wow.
That's so cool.
That is crazy.
Yeah, thanks.
It's like
Godspeed. to
learning
you.
a real thing.
What
Real
trying to.
skill.
Okay. What's
All right.
what's the end goal? So you're a licensed pilot. You don't own a plane. Is the end goal then like, I need to have and store my own plane?
I mean, that would be sweet.
Yeah.
But that's also
super
really
expensive.
expensive. Yeah.
We could CapEx like a jet. Like
I was gonna
that'd
say,
probably
can
save
you like
on
lease a
travel
plane
costs.
for just like, hey, I'm a
there-
pilot. I'm
you can
I'm
rent.
going to Phoenix for the day.
Yeah, you can rent planes. My goal is to my first goal is to fly to Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
And you can rent planes, but there are also clubs or like people will go off, like multiple people will go in on one plane. But yeah, it's really expensive to maintain a plane.
Yeah, I was
as
going to
well.
ask if you have to pay for all the maintenance and upkeep, or are there like FAA people that will like certify stuff?
There's
for you?
certain like rules about like every 1,000 hours this part has to be serviced or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So the club I fly with maintains all of that, and I only pay for. I don't think I do pay for the rental. It's in a block fee. But I also pay for the fuel. And I think they don't actually make much margin on the rental because the maintenance costs are so high.
Yeah.
Wow.
So rental seems like the way to go. I don't know.
This is wild, man.
Yeah.
This is really intense.
I've had to
Wow.
adjust my sleep schedule pretty drastically because they recommend going multiple times a week, and with a job, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wait a minute. Were you in the air this morning?
No, not this morning.
Okay.
It's been really foggy, so going in the morning has been really tough.
Okay.
But that's what I'm trying to do. I do 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. lessons, so I'm getting up at 4:30, which means I have to go to sleep at 8:30.
Wow. Some dedication.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
But it's working. Also, then I drive in, and then I use one of those park your own car services. So I pull up to the office, a guy meets me, and then takes my car and parks it somewhere. And then when I'm ready, I say, work is done, and then they come drop my car back off, and I drive home.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's this weird like clockwork thing that I've made work, but it's
your lifestyle's insane.
Next PAX, fly us to PAX.
No shit.
Yeah, there we go.
That sounds all right.
I would do that.
Boy.
Would you do that?
I would do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Are you ultimately going to be able to fly a jet or just prop?
So when you get your private license, you are able to fly a single engine plane.
Okay.
Not for money. You
Okay.
can get a commercial license, and then people can pay you for your services. And then to upgrade, you've got to get a. Then from there, it's like certification. So multi-engine is a certification.
Okay.
Jet, I think, is a certification.
Oh, it's a separate thing. Okay.
I think there's also certification for like complex aircraft, which I think means that you have landing gear, or I don't know. I'm still in like the beginning stages of exploring all of this stuff, but there's a lot. I bought some textbooks. It's, they're big.
It's the type of thing that makes video games seem very trivial.
I mean, honestly, playing stuff like DCS has really, really helped me.
Yeah, sure. I could see how there's the tie in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we wish you good luck.
Thank you.
That's quite an undertaking. We are going to undertake a break now, which is a little bit less strenuous than getting your pilot's license. But
I don't know. You haven't seen what we do during the
I've
break.
seen-
Actually, I guess you technically can see.
seen how you break yet.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
No matter how much you try to avoid it, there will come a time in your life when you need a tuxedo.
That's true words were never spoken. I was in a tuxedo not 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Against my will,
Yeah.
but it happened.
And
It'll happen to you.
I have worn tuxedos.
Yeah.
I will probably wear them again.
Yeah. You know what? I have a secret.
Okay.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is kind of fun.
Kind of feel like a secret spy.
Yeah,
guy.
you get to and like you rent the tuxedo. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to own a tuxedo.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Ain't
None of us living the lifestyle where we need to own a tuxedo.
No,
Not yet.
No, definitely not. And if you want to get a tuxedo without having to leave your house,
Yeah.
you can hit up the Black Tux. They give you a free home try-on so you can see the fit and feel the quality before your event. You do all that stuff online. They will make sure that you get fitted properly, all that other stuff. You can go over to theblacktux.com and create a look, or just they've got some complete packages for you. Their prices start at just $95. Suits designed with fine Italian wool.
Italy is where the good wool comes from.
The highest quality on the rental market. The highest quality.
Okay.
Yeah. And your outfit will arrive a full week before your event.
Okay.
So you've got time to figure out how to put it on. That's always the hard part for me. Is like, okay, I've got this thing. How do I actually wear it?
Yes. Gives you a week of starvation diet to try to cram yourself into that thing.
Yeah, sure. And if you get a hold of it and there's, the fit needs to be dialed in a little bit, the Black Tux will fix any of those problems before your event.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Diet is canceled.
Yeah, exactly.
Let it out.
When your event's over, you just drop that rental back in the mail. The shipping's free both ways. That sounds smooth.
It does.
You can visit theblacktux.com/giant and experience a new way to rent. That's theblacktux.com/giant.
Fancy duds.
Fancy duds.
And we're back.
It's true.
It's time to talk about some stuff. I'm not going to say what it is till Jason's ready down there. Oh, man.
It's news!
So ready. I don't even have to say it.
Beat
It's
you to
time
it.
for the news.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That's good.
Man, that's some impressive productioneering down there.
Educate me.
We're
I'm
gonna take
ready.
Brad
Yeah.
out. We're gonna take Brad out of the loop on the whole
Man.
news thing
Don't
and just
even
have.
don't even have to say news.
Cyber
anymore.
Brad.
Let's get a
Yeah.
Vocaloid to read the news.
Okay.
Oh, we should actually do that.
That's
Can
a
you,
my
good
can you
God.
idea.
literally
Yeah.
just type
Oh my
sentences
God.
and have it say or sing them?
It's
Sing the
a
news?
little
Is there
more
more to it than
complicated
that?
than that.
Okay.
But
do you have to
maybe-
worry about some inflection curve or something? To
I
make
think
it
you're seeing
sound?
all the phonemes and all the
Yeah.
other
Okay.
things, and then having to plot out the words that you're. I don't know that it's actually about just feeding it lines
Text.
and having it It might be.
We should.
Maybe you can do that, and then you have to massage it if you want it to sound right. But we don't want it to sound right.
We should buy a Vocaloid.
I'm
Let's
probably gonna buy a Vocaloid.
Yeah,
really good.
That's
at
gonna
Vocaloid
happen now.
I
that's
already
OpEx.
have all the.
Are you gonna audition your Vocaloids? Are you gonna figure out?
I think that if you
find the
want,
best match.
I think if you want one that is English speaking first, the choices are more limited than if you want a Japanese.
Oh, you can't just get Miku?
I mean, she
Japanese?
speaks primarily Japanese. I
Okay.
think you could feed the same sounds to her, but I
Phonemes?
think it would. Yeah, I don't know that it would come out the same way.
Hmm.
She is tuned for Japan.
There's a new Miku game close on the horizon.
Yes.
There's
Oh,
always a Miku.
by the way-
By the way, that is how all this started. Is that we got a code for the one that is out on the 30th, and I was like, man, what about Vocaloids? And then, why am I playing this game? Why is there so much on-screen text in this game when it's a robot that could say anything? Oh well, and then I realized like, oh, they're tuned for a language. That's why. That's why they didn't dub this into English.
Oh, that Project Diva F quick look was a defining
Well,
moment.
fucking
in my
strap
life.
yourself in because Project Diva X is out this month.
One of my favorite videos to ever be a part of. All right, let's read headlines. Let's talk about news. The video game industry's inability to keep secrets continues to just
We're terrible.
blow my mind.
They should give up and
Yeah.
be more like the movie
Yeah,
industry
be-
and just
be
say like,
like,
hey,
yep.
you know what? This
Yep.
actually isn't
Yep.
worth keeping a secret.
Like, we're just going to announce this thing as we start to work on it.
Yeah.
And stay tuned in 2 years. Yeah. It's all signs point to there being not one but two new PlayStations announced at this thing on September 7th.
Yeah.
Because one of them is out there in the wild now.
Whoops.
Oh,
It's
boy.
a PlayStation
Yeah.
4 Slim got stolen or something.
Fell
From
off the back of a
where?
truck.
Ultimately, I believe it got auctioned off. There's a guy in the UK that has it now,
Yeah.
is in
Auctioned
possession of it.
off?
Yeah.
I thought it was like
By
a.
who?
I
I thought it was like a
there was like a-
Craigslist kind of.
There was like a
got it-
personal
he got
ad,
it-
like some kind of Craigslist thing where they were like, "Hey, I got this thing. It's not going to be out in the shops for 3 weeks."
I want to say it was on.
And the guy's like, or the buyer was like, "Yo, fucking shut up, prove it."
Yeah. I
Send
want
me
to.
pics.
I think Gumtree is the site that he went through. Is an auction site.
Yeah.
But,
And then whoever
but-
ended up with it, Eurogamer went out to
Yes,
that person's
yes.
house and turned it on and went like, "Yeah." Okay,
but what
that's
I
a
mean
real
is,
thing.
prior to that auction, it's not clear where it came from.
Yeah.
Because this thing, presumably, it's a PS4 Slim. If you haven't seen it, it is a smaller PlayStation 4. It's not the Neo. It is just a smaller PlayStation 4.
And not even that much smaller. It's like it's
decent.
like shorter. It's like not as
it's
tall.
Not quite,
laid
not
down,
quite as
right?
thick. I
Yeah.
mean,
The rhombus
it is
thinner.
smaller.
Yeah.
There are pics out there
Thinner
of the new one
rhombus.
stacked on top of the original PS4.
Yeah.
You can see the size comparison. But
Ugh.
I mean, it seems pretty much like a guarantee that this thing was going to go on sale or will go on sale as of that event.
That seems
Like
likely.
you assume they're going to come out of this event going like, and it's on store shelves now.
I'm surprised. I thought that they would have held off a new base PS4 until they had maybe cleared stock on the existing.
Yeah,
size
so I don't
ones.
know if you've seen.
So
There have been some reports for the last few weeks coming out of Japan that
that,
they
like
are
supply is
tapering
drying
down
up.
on production specifically. They're
Yeah.
not manufacturing the old PS4 like they were,
Yeah.
and that there are retailers in Japan that are straight up sold out of them at this point. It's just like,
Huh.
yeah, we haven't had the white one in 2 weeks. Like we just sold our last black one. That's some quotes coming out
Yeah.
of this.
So maybe their supplies are tighter and more constrained than I thought they would be. But I
Yeah.
figured there would be some kind of grace period where they would announce the Neo
Mhm.
and they would start blowing out
Oh,
base level PS4s to as a result of like, hey, we're kind of shifting to the Neo, and then maybe have a Slim as like
Right.
a new lower priced entry level for
Yeah.
people.
yeah, it seems like they've preempted that. Like it's already starting to dry up, and I guess this thing will be out sooner than later. But somebody's got one now.
Weird.
There are videos of it out there, although some they're getting taken down off of YouTube as they go up.
Surprise.
Well, then it's obviously fake.
Yes, clearly. But you're right. Yeah, Eurogamer literally took a field trip to the house of the person who bought this thing.
Pretty
to
awesome.
to verify
Wow.
that it was real.
It looks weird.
Yeah,
It looks like
Yeah.
an ancient alien artifact
Hmm.
or something you'd unearth at Stonehenge.
I guess I could see that.
like a
There's something
slab
strange and
or at a
slabbish about it. Like it's
2001.
rounded and it's
Yeah.
just like a weird.
Yeah, it's got a lot of rounded corners.
There are parts about it that remind me of the Xbox One S, like some of the buttons and some of that
Yeah,
stuff.
I
Like
guess I can see that.
the USB port. Anyway, I don't know. Something about it reminded me of the S a little bit.
Yeah, it looks okay. I think the S is a better looking console.
Yeah.
Because it's not a rhombus. It's just a.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to
Brick.
tell from some of these photos, but this is still a rhombus, right? It's still got
Yeah.
the
I
slanted
I
front
think
and
it
back.
is,
Yeah.
Um,
I think so from the photo I saw. But
sounds like it lost the optical port. That's kind of the big difference.
Huh.
Other than that,
Sh- Really?
pretty much
Oh,
still the same,
that
still the
kinda
same
sucks.
thing. Other than that,
Ooh.
haven't
I
seen.
mean,
any-
I don't use an optical port and
Yeah.
haven't
I
for
do.
years,
I
but
do,
yeah,
actually,
you should-
yeah.
well, time to buy a new receiver.
Fuck.
Live in the now.
HDMI.
The
perhaps,
future.
Perhaps you've heard of it.
I'm excited about the physical buttons, though.
Yeah.
High definition motherfucking interface is what that stands for.
What else is new with this thing? There's a new controller, new model of controller.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
You do not?
No.
No, not a fan. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't need a
The
light
light
bar.
on the top?
So
Yeah.
it seems like the one
pointed in my direction.
The one difference is there's a little strip along the top of the touchpad, so you can now see what color the light bar is on top of the controller.
I always look for that though. Like I kind of see the value in having a light up there because I always I look like a doof whenever I turn on the controller. I'm like, did this actually turn on? What color am I? What is it synced?
I think that light
Is
bar
it
is a
so it
huge
doesn't
waste.
reflect off the TV?
No, that's still there. The front light bar is totally still there. They
two lights
added-
now?
Yes,
the
Extra
front
light.
light bar needs to be there because it's for tracking purposes.
yes, for
in
all
games
for all
where-
of those games that use
for all
camera
of those
tracking.
games that use
Yeah.
camera
for all
tracking.
two of them.
You would still need that there to maintain compatibility.
Yeah.
But there are some games that when your shields are down, it changes color, and that's like a really cool idea that I never see because I'm not looking at that fucking thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess having it pointed your way makes some sense. But
It's very small. It seems like it'd
Yeah.
be pretty easy to ignore.
But also, I think that if they said hey, by the way, we've decided to take the colored light bar and the speaker out of this thing, at no point would I protest.
Yeah.
As long as they made it
Yeah,
cheaper
that's-
as a result.
That speaker can go.
I would have been fine.
Like
with
King of
that.
Fighters uses it.
Does it?
Occasionally, I hear random voices in Japanese coming out of my controller, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you saying? Why are you saying it?
I
What's
think
going
I have
on?"
that stuff turned off
Yeah.
by default.
Deus Ex
Huh,
uses
weird.
it. Like the radio transmissions come
Yes.
out of the controller.
And that's if you're the sort of person that wears headphones or are recording quick look style videos, having stuff suddenly come out of the speaker, you're like, "Fuck! What? Stop! No!"
Yeah.
And sometimes getting that stuff to actually come out of the TV is not as simple as just turning down the volume on the controller speaker.
It is smart enough
True,
if you have
so.
headphones plugged into the controller to
Yes,
put
that-
everything through there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Not so much for recording.
Right.
That's kind of the long and the short of this thing. It's a smaller console. The controller
500 gigabyte.
slightly different. Oh, was it 500?
the one that
That they
the box
got-
art,
Yes,
the box
yes.
shots were out there was a
You're right.
500.
You're right.
Doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only SKU, but
Yeah.
Did we need this?
yeah, because
Not really,
because
but-
they can make them more
Yeah.
cheaply.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is every console for the last 15 years
Yeah.
plus
Uh,
20
I
years. Almost.
know.
Like
but-
this is just part of the natural evolution of a console.
And if you make
gets
the
smaller
assumption
and cheaper
that-
at some point,
If you make the assumption that the Neo will come out right around the same launch price of the PS4,
Having
then
a cheaper
this
option.
Oh, I
is
hope
a
so.
cheaper thing. Yeah, I hope so
I
too.
hope so. I
yeah.
hope they don't push it to 500
No, they can't.
I
It's,
don't
it's
know.
not enough of a bump.
or even 450. I don't know.
Mm.
You're probably right. You are correct. You are morally right,
Yeah,
but I don't know that that's what they'll do
We have
Fair
a
enough.
smaller, cheaper option, Jeff.
for you,
But for the
for those
Mhm.
people.
yes, the bleeding edge electronics fans with 4K televisions. If you want to be on the cutting edge of technology,
And I do.
$599.
No.
Dude.
No. All right. So I was out and about over the weekend, and I stopped in at the local Best Buy. I was curious to see if they had any 1080s in stock. They did not. Last time I was there, they had a 1070. I was just wanted to look at the shelves. They were all bare.
Those things are starting to get easier to come
Yeah.
by. I was looking at 1070s over the weekend.
I'm very close to starting to buy my PC parts. So I just need to get that done. So anyway, but I went and looked at that LG crazy $2,500
OLED,
like OLED 4K
Yeah.
HDR screen with their demo loop running on it, and my wife was with me. We both were looking at it, and even she was just like seized up a little bit, staring at it, like, what the fuck is?
It tends to
And
have
you're
that
like,
effect.
It looks crazy. It looks
Yes, I'm
crazy.
in there.
Yep.
And but she also made the point of I don't want, and there was part of the demo loop was some fucking DJ and then all these colored lights, and you're like, this is actually the darkness and light and stuff, this is an effective demo of the thing.
Yeah.
But this fucker's pores are being seen at a resolution that I do not want to see. So if all 4K content is another bump up in resolution that makes makeup irrelevant, like the way HD did from SD.
Well, everybody's rider is just going to add another 10 feet. It's all right.
Yeah,
4K
right,
cameras
right.
now have to be 30 feet away from me.
Yeah, that was stuff really stuck out of just I'm staring at this dude's stubble, and that's awesome that this picture is that clear, but no one needs to see this. No one needs to see this.
Yeah.
4K pornography. That's what I'm saying. Let's get it.
Mm.
That's what. Yeah. No,
Yep.
that's ugh,
HDR.
ugh. Yeah.
There you go.
HDR.
For Drew.
PlayStation 4 Slim. In store soon. Soon? 2 weeks?
Yeah,
you think?
probably. I mean, this thing wouldn't exist.
Yeah, it shouldn't. It wouldn't be out.
This would not be in any part of the channel if it wasn't on its way
if it
to
wasn't
shelves.
about ready to be sold. So yeah, look forward soon. I guess September 7th is that event.
Right.
I believe we intend to sit down and watch that thing.
Yeah, we're gonna watch this 4K content on a stream that is definitely no higher than 1080.
And then restream it
at
720p.
At 720p.
Yeah.
The
We're gonna
power
have-
of the Neo. We're
That's
really
how
well
it's
People
done.
on the
equipped.
ground, though, right?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Alex and maybe also Vinny will be at that event in New York. So we get some. We should just get some hot reactions from them straight out the.
Yeah, hopefully we can get them on the phone after that and say, hey, it'll probably look better there, right?
They'll be like, "Yep,
All right,
all right, good talking to you."
Yeah.
Cool.
Great stuff.
Yep.
Spoilers.
Some other Sony news happening. PlayStation Plus is now more expensive.
Boo.
It is now going to be $60 a year as opposed to $50.
As of
I thought it was 60.
Or I'm
I
not.
don't know.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't mean it's that is effective as of today. It's I believe it's September 22nd is when that price change will go into effect.
What new cool features are we getting, Brad?
$10 more a month.
changing market conditions,
I believe it's the same.
is literally
service.
the phrase they used
Yeah.
in their
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, Netflix gets more expensive. Like these stuff
Yes.
happens.
I
It's
wish-
not unprecedented, but
okay, it's not even. I wish it would have been smart for them to have
come up with something.
single thing
Yeah.
that they could point at,
Yeah.
even if it's just an explanation of like, hey, like something that was a little like more specific than market conditions.
Mhm.
If it was like, hey, we've exhausted all of the low tier free PlayStation Plus games we can get, so we have to start raising the payouts to these developers to try to get better games. Or hey, we were trying to enhance certain aspects of the service, and the money will help us get there. Like, just even if it was not necessarily specific in that way, but it was just like, hey, we need to, in order to kind of get this service to the next level, or kind of maintain this, like some further explanation beyond market conditions, because market conditions could be anything. Market conditions could be we're so far ahead of the Xbox, we know you'll pay it. Like that's a market condition.
Sure.
So I just
should they just have waited to announce this for the same time that they said that Knack was a free PlayStation Plus game?
absolutely. It's like
Roll this out at the same time. Here you go. Here you go. You asked
here's
for
Knack.
it. Here's Knack. You got it.
Yeah.
Knack 2
Um,
coming soon. They're going to announce it on
yeah,
the 7th. I know it. I can feel it.
Thinking back,
Oh my
like the
God.
only material
No.
change to Plus has been the cloud save stuff, right? Like they upped
Right. The
they upped
limit
that from a
there,
gig to
yeah.
10 gig, but other than that, I can't really think of any way that
That's
that
expensive.
service has changed.
And I still feel like that their service is fine.
Yeah,
but it's not. I wish that the speeds were faster.
Yes, that I mean, yes.
And
the
it's
download,
funny,
the
like
download speeds on PSN are fucking embarrassing at this point.
And I feel, anytime you say that on a Twitter or service like that, you get a bunch of people going like, "It's fine for me."
Fine for me, yeah.
It's like,
like,
well,
no.
A, your definition of fine is fucking wrong, and B, use Steam sometime. Yeah, you want to see some download speeds.
Yeah, like Steam will literally max out my internet connection.
Yeah, same here. And mine is, I think, even faster than yours. Have you started down the road of getting?
I have signed up. I have signed a 12-month contract for gigabit fiber.
Fucking A.
What?
And it
With
is
who?
getting installed. Sonic.
Oh.
It is getting installed shortly after PAX, and I could not be more excited.
Sonic
Really?
is
holy
You're
shit!
gonna love it,
I
dude.
was with Sonic. So the head of Sonic ran the junior college's internet service.
Oh wow!
Back
Was
when
that Dane?
Yes.
Fucking, I was on their forums reading about the rollout of fiber in San Francisco, and the CEO was answering individual posts with like very specific information about like, here's why we can't run it up your block.
Dane is,
Here's why
is
they
out
haven't-
there in a very like real way that is like fucking crazy.
He was
for
like,
an
he was
internet
like, yes,
provider,
there is
and-
undergrounding on Geary Boulevard that prevents us from deploying north of Geary, but the south is fine. Like, it was just like, dude, and this
And,
guy is
so-
the CEO of this company.
So they started Sonic as like it was a dial-up only service. It was a shell account.
Yeah.
I think I maybe had a slip account or a PPP account.
Okay.
Here we are, the 25th anniversary of the launch of the World Wide Web today as well. So this is all
very
relevant.
timely.
And like, so the junior college had like 2 phones to dial into to connect to the internet, and it was busy a lot. So at some point he saw the opportunity and launched his own internet service with a very healthy Usenet feed, which I appreciated, because that's primarily what I use the internet for.
Sure.
It was to post text because that's when you did that.
No, I believe it.
And less about pornography, sicko.
I posted to the Usenet about video games.
That's right, you did. That's right, you did.
Yeah. You can find all those posts are still out
Google
there.
still has all
I
that
found
bullshit.
them.
My frantic post from, was it late 90s? when I don't know, whenever Jump magazine
Yeah.
announced Final Fantasy VII in Japan, I lost my shit.
You went and posted. It's on the PlayStation. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
That's pretty good.
Good times in the mid '90s.
Way more innocuous than most of the stuff that is out there. Anyway, yes. So they started that ISP. You know, I want to say it was like '93ish or somewhere around there, and I signed up for it then when it was just a dial-up service, and then kind of ping-ponged onto and off of it depending on where I was living and all that other stuff. Because they didn't have a local access number, I think I was running up $300 a month in phone charges to call their access number. So I had to move to something else, and then I got a cable modem, and then I went back to them for DSL for a while, but the speed wasn't there. So like, if they had fiber in my neighborhood, I would switch to them in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah.
They've
Don't they like throw a picnic for their customers every
I
year?
think so yeah,
It's crazy.
But like their
An
customer
ISP.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
their
Like-
customer service was always so good.
They
and so real.
They get like perfect scores from like
yeah,
customer service kind of review boards.
Wow. Is
and
it
stuff.
expensive?
Yeah. It is also half the price of my Comcast.
What?
That's
Okay.
the
No
other thing.
way.
It's 8 times the speed of my Comcast for half the price.
Looking this up right
You
now.
should check it
You
out.
should check. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Every few months, I go and look and see if they are in my
Yeah.
part of Petaluma yet, and they're not. They never are.
That's- yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
always. And now, like the one thing they did change is like now they're like, hey, if you sign up for a DSL service, that's a vote that we need to upgrade in your community. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna like
Especially in the
reduce
burbs.
speed.
Especially in the burbs where infrastructure rollout is like super slow and,
Yeah, yeah.
like very spotty. Like who knows how
Like
many
I'm
years
sure that
could
there's
take.
something real about them saying that, but also like I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go to a slower tier of service.
Yeah, their
for that.
focus seems to be on San Francisco right now, but I could not be more excited.
It's a bummer
to-
because they're from up near
Yeah,
where I'm at.
yeah,
and
yeah.
But
I've got Paxio at home, which is fiber,
Oh.
but it actually supplies the entire building, which is like 90 units.
Okay.
Still, it's like
Still,
it's
Still good?
fucking fantastic.
yeah. What are you
so
pulling
good.
from Steam?
3 or 4 megabits per second, something like that. It's burly.
Okay.
I don't know if those numbers are correct.
On
but
Comcast, I'll top out about.
it's faster than my hard drive will write. So it'll actually like frequently
nice.
like pause
Yeah,
and
yeah,
buffer
sure,
and
yeah,
stuff.
right.
Yeah. I get like top out like 12, 15 megabytes.
that's
a
I
second
think
from Steam.
that's where I am right now too.
Yeah,
Somewhere
got
around
about
there.
120 down.
Yeah, I think I need to look at the Comcast plans because I think I could be getting slightly
Mm-hmm.
like significantly faster internet for only like another 10
I
a
mean,
month. Or
they have
something
like business
that, so-
tiers and stuff if you really
Well,
want to go up there.
yeah.
Also, mine's free. It's included with it.
Hey, that's
Jeez.
yeah. I can't fight it, man.
free internet's the best internet.
I was thinking about deleting my Steam library and re-downloading it
Just to
to
say.
watch it go.
Wow.
I'm very excited.
Fucking A.
That's pretty
I
great.
support that dumb move. I support you in that terrible idea.
You know,
Stream
I'll
it.
maybe
Yeah.
I'll just
Yeah,
delete
live
Doom.
stream
I
that.
will. I'll download Doom or something again. Just one of those big ones.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and stream it.
yes.
Absolutely.
Stream it.
Yeah.
but also I can't wait to keep downloading it like a megasecond on PSN over that thing because that's probably what's going to happen.
Right.
Because PSN's not great.
I can get 10 meg. I can get 20 megs.
Oh man. Yeah, but it's a slow rollout. Like I said, there are different municipal challenges around each neighborhood that they are working through. But fast internet, it's exciting. I
Yeah,
guess-
man.
I
That would
guess.
knock a. That would. I don't know. I could do that. That might knock a chunk off of what I'm paying now.
Yeah. There's more.
You gotta save for a plane.
That's right.
It's true.
I need every
It's true.
Yeah, you need
scrap
plane
I can
money.
get. Yeah.
Can you put internet in that plane?
When I walked in, there was a diagram of like how flight worked, and it had a drawing of a plane, and the up arrow said lift, and the down arrow said gravity, and the forward arrow said money.
Nice.
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 Yeah.
Yep.
That's just math. Okay. Yeah. So we got PlayStation 4 Slim, price increase on PlayStation Plus.
Great.
And then as of like 20 minutes ago, they have confirmed that PlayStation Now is coming to PC. Let me pull that story up. So that apparently leaked on the European PlayStation blog this
Yeah.
morning, like out of some metadata on a photo or something like that.
But it's on the official blog.
So yes,
now,
they
it
have
looks
now now gone and messaged it officially.
Oh.
We were excited to announce that
How
PlayStation
very
Now.
un-Sony of them.
I know,
Yeah.
right? PlayStation Now is making the jump to Windows PC. The app launches overseas and parts of Europe soon, and will come to North America shortly thereafter.
Soon and shortly.
Yes.
Cool.
All right.
They're also making a dongle, a controller dongle, a wireless dongle, which I don't see the word
No.
Bluetooth.
Maybe it is just a Bluetooth
That's
dongle.
that's what I'm
Right.
saying. I assume
in
this
case
is,
you don't have Bluetooth.
I assume this
Yeah.
is just a PlayStation branded Bluetooth dongle.
I don't
Looks
need any
like
more
it.
dongles.
But at the same
Nope.
time, they kind of need that because, like, I did the legwork of getting a Bluetooth dongle to try to do that stuff unofficially. You know, there's like DS4
Right,
tool
right.
that lets you use that thing. And there's a bunch of weird compatibility issues. You know, it's like half of the cheap Bluetooth adapters on Amazon like don't work with that thing. And some of them sometimes work. Like if this thing is reliable and makes that controller just go on a PC, then this I see a need for this adapter.
I assume this doesn't change anything about like PS4 controller compatibility.
Oh, no,
on
no, no,
PC.
no.
Like you would probably still need
highly
to
doubt
run
that.
that
Yeah,
wrapper
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's not like
Yeah.
they're not going to use Microsoft's X input
No,
standards
no.
to fake
Yeah.
an
Right.
Xbox
I'm just talking
controller.
about
It's
between
not-
the controller and the adapter, even that process.
Right.
That reliability was spotty.
One line in the press release actually says, of course, owning the USB wireless adapter isn't required as you can connect to DualShock 4 using a USB
Yeah,
cable.
you can still plug in a
Yeah,
USB
sure.
cable.
Like, but they don't make mention of like using third-party software. Like, I don't know. Maybe they will release some kind of driver for it.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it already has like it supports direct input, just not X input.
Not X input.
And most games these days are
Need
looking for
X.
X input.
Need dead X.
Yeah, that seems like a bridge too far for
Yeah.
them to get into supporting.
Huh.
That thing's $25 for the adapter.
Yeah.
Will enable every feature of the controller you know and love: buttons, analog sticks, touchpad, light bar, motion sensors, vibration, and stereo headset jack.
Okay.
So we're talking playing
Wow, that's
Uncharted
actually
As,
4.
as long
yeah.
as the gaming application supports these features.
Okay.
Uncharted 4 on your PC.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you can do that already with the Remote Play app, which they put out back in April, wasn't it?
Right.
But you have to have a PlayStation to do it.
Yeah. You can't. There are no PS4 games on PlayStation now.
Yeah. So
Oh.
this would be
Just for
Uncharted
PS3.
3.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Okay.
You could play old Uncharted.
Maybe. I don't know if that's on
Yeah.
PlayStation
Now is just PS3 games right
Yeah.
now, or do they have PS2? No, PS2 games are coming out.
Yeah, they're
piecemeal,
selling those.
right?
Yeah. So it's like
I thought they
this,
had a ton
this
of stuff,
collection of the PS3 library. It's a weird collection of them, and this is the Gaikai stuff. So this is stuff that runs off in the cloud somewhere on some other end of the internet, and you can play a lot of bad PS3 games, and some that are
Decent
that
ones.
are better. Yeah, there are. It's a wide swath. But I when I messed around with PlayStation Now, it was just like, oh, all these weird download only PSN games
No knack?
that were unfortunately no knack.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
yeah.
Do they
No
have like a
knack, no
bundle
deal.
service yet? Just like a service like, hey, $20 a month, play whatever the fuck you want.
That's what it is.
It is
Yeah,
now?
It's,
Okay.
it
Like,
always
so I
was.
thought-
It always was that. It was
Because I remember, us paying individually
prior to
for-
launch, it was
prior to
that. But I think
launch.
they have moved into annual fees and that sort of stuff.
Gotcha.
Do you guys use the Remote Play app much on Windows?
Never.
I-
I don't
none
have
on
it.
Windows.
I've never installed it.
Really?
I installed it on my
I've
laptop,
seen
my
you
Mac.
using it here
Uh,
to like Remote Play into your PS4 at home.
Yeah, that was specifically once
Okay.
when Battleborn was out. I
Yes,
forget
right.
why, but I was playing the intro to
That's right, you
Battleborn
played through the
on
tutorial of Battleborn
on
Just
the
so you wouldn't have to
laptop.
play it at
from
home.
your home
Right,
PS4.
nice.
Smart.
Just like a tab out of this window and just let the
yeah.
intro movie play.
That's not
How
bad.
did it work?
It worked. It just, there was just enough latency to it to where you wouldn't want to play a game that way.
So I've started using it a lot at home.
Mm.
It turns out it's a good way to keep up with Adventure Capitalist while you're queuing for Dota matches
okay.
because you extra hate yourself.
Well, see, I just my situation is that I have my PC monitors right here
Yeah.
and then the TV with the
Okay, yeah.
PlayStation
So
right here.
my PS4
So
is-
Adventure
yeah.
Capitalist can just be running constantly.
Yeah.
Oh, all you have to do is swivel.
Yeah.
Yeah, my PS4 is in another room, but it's kind of awesome for that. Like,
Yeah.
or looking for crystals and grow up or whatever I was doing. But that thing has gotten incredibly unreliable for me. I was going to ask if anybody had this problem, but mine at home will work for 5 seconds and then freeze for 3, just on off constantly, and I cannot figure it out, and it makes it completely useless, and it's a bummer.
I will say PlayStation View has improved drastically. Like
Oh, yeah?
seeking fast forward and
Oh, okay,
rewinding
okay, yeah.
actually works
Oh,
now.
cool.
That's cool.
There's still a lot of weird errors, and it can be clunky, but what you pay for it, I think it's worth it.
Also, I probably should mention I fucking broke on Adventure Capitalist in the worst way last night. Like, holy shit.
Really?
I got to the moon,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, oh my god, I have to do all this over again.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause it took like a week to get to the moon.
Uh-huh. And then Mars is that again.
And then suddenly my system clock magically jumped
Uh-huh.
to 2099
Oh.
5 or 6 times in a row.
Uh-huh. You just got all those trophies and
And it was
then-
the most fun I've ever had with Adventure Capitalist.
Yep. When you see the numbers go up and it's illicit.
It's
when you're
wow,
getting one over on the numbers,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm the master of the numbers.
Yep.
The numbers are not masters of me.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Yep.
is a
It's
great
really good.
feeling.
I haven't
That's
quite
a-
gotten all. There's a couple. The last couple
Yeah.
trophies still
Same-
take
same
like a shocking number of date-
centuries.
So
Centuries.
At a certain point, like, how could you ever get those trophies naturally?
It's exponential. Like I on my phone where I have not cheated,
Yeah.
I have gotten.
Oh, really?
that
You
stuff.
got all that stuff? Yeah.
It's just it's a
Just
matter
to
of
finally get
like,
there?
months and months.
So that's
of
what
time.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, how long would it take if you didn't cheat at that thing? Because,
more time than you want to spend.
yeah, clickers are bad.
They really are.
I think that's it for the giant flood of Sony news this week. See if anything else leaks before that event comes up
Yeah.
For Sony.
on September 7th. Yeah, if you were planning some big, like, and it's out now thing, and to just have it out there 2 weeks early, like, whew, sure somebody is not especially pleased.
Oh, I mean, at least like no more specifics about Neo availability
yeah.
have hit yet.
That's-
They still do have that stuff left to announce.
That's the
so-
big thing for this event,
Yeah.
sure.
It's been a leaky ship this year, like
Yep.
in general.
Yeah, totally. And
Everyone.
like it should be.
Who cares,
this sort of
right?
stuff doesn't need to be.
Yeah, the extreme secrecy around some of this stuff gets a little crazy.
Like
Mhm.
At
what's
times.
I mean, I get like the timing of like, hey, we want to sell existing PS4s, so we don't want to announce the next one yet.
Yeah.
Like that's maybe a case to not talk
Mhm.
about stuff, but
I guess, but it seems to me that having a story break early and not being ready for it, and then scrambling to
Mhm.
control messaging in a really not clean way is more detrimental than it is advantageous for you to announce.
I think so too. But
Yeah.
but I also think that Sony usually takes that one step further and they don't scramble
Yeah.
to confirm the announcement.
just-
In this
they
case,
just-
they did, but instead they just say nothing.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, well,
Yeah.
fine.
To be fair, in this case, it was their own leak, like their own blog leaked
Right.
the PlayStation
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
stuff. But yeah, you're right that you tend to just let this stuff hang in the air for weeks or
Yeah.
months at a time
Which
without
I
addressing it.
just think is a bad way to go.
Yeah. At the same time, like, you're this close to your big gala event in New York City,
Right.
like, you're probably just going to wait and act like nothing happened.
All it takes is like, hey, we'll have more to say on September 7th.
Yeah.
Like just
Sure.
that acknowledgement plus like here's when you can
Yeah.
expect to hear more about it, I think would be a fantastic step in the right direction.
It
for
at
them.
least makes people stop asking,
Yeah.
which is really what you want.
Or treating it like it's some big like, hey, we're gonna tell this to every part of the internet because we're gonna talk about it on message boards for weeks and weeks and weeks because it's a leak. And
Right.
like, well, or people going like, there's no way that's real.
Yeah.
Like,
To be
what?
fair, I mean, yeah,
All right,
there was
sure.
there was a good 36 hours of people looking at this thing.
Oh,
going,
that thing
is
yeah,
fake as shit.
That was
Like,
a little
what?
that was a little weird.
Yeah.
Like it's 3D printed.
Right. All right, let's move on to non-Sony news here. Hey, remember when they said they were going to make more Metal Gear games?
Oh right.
Oh.
Yeah, pachinko and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're making a new Metal Gear game.
Like
What-
a game?
what
Like a
kind of
game?
video
Metal
game.
Gear.
What kind of pachinko?
Metal Gear.
Another?
Metal Gear Survive.
MGS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
As
like
as
a-
it's known.
It's like a Resident Evil ripoff, isn't it? Like it looks
It's
bad.
like it's like
It
the Red
appears-
Dead Zombie expansion,
Yes.
but with with
It
Metal
appears.
Gear.
It appears to be a. I don't know if they come out and say it's a 4-player game, but it appears to be a 4-player survival action.
No thanks.
Co-op game.
Yeah.
Pass.
For PC, Xbox One, and PS4.
The one thing Metal Gear did not need was zombies.
It kind of even had them in
Yeah.
5. with
Yeah.
the-
Yeah. Like,
So my first reaction to this was, man, Metal Gear Solid 5 played amazingly. I would love to play another game like that. And then I was like, well, but wave-based survival does not capitalize on what made that game great.
Right, like the AI, the clockwork AI, and the nature of
Yeah,
this,
it was-
the size and scope of
yes.
that game. That's the stuff. So
It
when you
was-
fill that with like, oh well, now we've got zombie hordes to make up for having to have
Yes.
AI that does a thing.
On top of that, like
No.
the footage they put out of this, like the shambling zombies in that
It's
thing
garbage.
just reeked of the skulls from MGS 5. And if
Right.
they play anything like that, like fucking no. That was the
I'm
worst
very
part of
upset.
that. Fighting the skulls was the worst part of that game. So I hope it's better than that. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They do come out and say
That's-
explicitly
yeah.
4-player.
Yeah.
But the trailer, shows kind of teams of 4, but
Mm-hmm. I didn't want. I don't want to play competitive multiplayer Metal Gear. For
yeah.
even for as much as I liked the gameplay in MGS 5,
Yeah.
like that's spins on that get away from what MGS 5 was are not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Competitive multiplayer is one of those things, like a survival game. No, it's just not. It's just not what I'm after.
I'll tell you, and I this may be a controversial opinion, but like if I had known, if I had watched the same trailer, and Kojima was still at Konami, I would at least have some hope that this game would be intriguing to me personally, because I like Kojima. I
there'd be
think
some Kojima in it.
more than I
Yeah.
like Metal Gear.
Sure.
But with him not there,
It's hard to have faith in, like, when you look at the, like, constant fire that has been Konami on their way out of the video game business, or on their way, I guess they're not out, right?
It's not. I don't even know who's making this.
Is it the Metal Gear Online team?
It doesn't say.
Kojima Productions.
They're still
Right.
using
Yeah.
the Fox engine, I presume.
I assume so.
Yeah,
I think it's,
they've said as much, but yeah, it's it's.
Hey, I like that
I-
engine. I like the gameplay. Like
Yeah.
of 5.
I mean, it was it was a totally fine third-person shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
this
mean,
could play fine.
We'll see what it is, but at the same time, like, I don't like zombie games on top
Yeah.
of all that, so it's
And
like
even-
this is the exact opposite of, of the things I love about Metal Gear.
Yeah.
This is,
And
this
even if
is-
they
this plays
tried
against all of that stuff.
To do that and like be true to the Metal Gear franchise or
Mhm.
whatever, it wouldn't. Just my knowledge of the man Kojima and his, the fact that he's not there anymore, I wouldn't be able to. I don't know. I could not.
See, I think if they said, hey, we're gonna make Metal Gear Solid 6, or hey, we're making Metal Gear 3, or just like, or whatever they ended up doing, I like Kojima's work quite a bit, but at the same time, I think that someone could emulate large parts of that in a way that would work for at least one more proper Metal Gear game.
I think you're right.
Um,
I don't think I would personally care as much.
Yeah, I think I would be very curious
Yeah,
to
I
see
would
how
absolutely
like
give it a
okay,
shot.
you're gonna
Yeah.
give it a go. Like, okay, like let's see if you can do this, because I bet they could nail most of it.
Yeah.
I
I just could not jump whole hog into it like I want to do to a new Kojima
yeah,
game.
for better or worse, he has been very good at putting himself in front of that franchise,
So
and like you know that guy made. I'm sure there are people out there that don't, and they're just like, whatever, more Metal Gear. There's got to be some wider, more mainstream audience that doesn't give a shit.
So what you're suggesting is they would be making the Metal Gear Solid 2 of Metal Gear games,
Yeah.
a Hideo Kojima simulation.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
See if you can
Exactly.
Yes. See if you can procedurally generate a Kojima game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm excited for? Drew's not done. We're gonna have to bring him back.
Nope. Kojima games.
I don't know. I mean, there may be no end to this game. He would maybe never actually be able to complete it because
Well,
it might just be a bunch of wave-based survival
I
matches
guess
ad
that's a lot
nauseum.
yeah. Did you ever play Rising?
Nope.
Rising is a short game.
It's really good.
Also not a Kojima game.
Yeah.
Nope, that was platinum.
So,
Yeah. Really good though.
Yep. I mean, this thing at least has a Metal Gear-ass premise
Metal Gear ass premise.
in,
I like it.
in that it is set directly after Ground Zeroes. Remember when the base
right,
blew up
right.
at the end of Ground Zeroes?
Yeah.
And then the zombies came out.
According
Oh.
to this
Everyone
game,
remembers that.
according to this game, right after Solid Snake and Miller and all those people flew away in a helicopter, a wormhole opened over top of the exploding base and sucked everyone else into this wormhole and delivered them to this alternate dimension.
All right,
No,
back
you
in.
lost
Nameless
me.
generic soldiers.
Back in.
You lost me
It's
at
the
wormhole.
most important part.
Yeah.
MGS5 has wormholes in it. It totally does.
Yeah,
The top end of the research has wormholes.
Yeah, but,
right.
Yeah,
That's
but the
canon.
zombie
That's
wormhole.
canon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Zombie wormhole.
Yeah, zombie. Yeah,
That research had to
Zombie
come from
wormhole.
somewhere.
yeah. Not into it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the trailer kind of makes it seem like you're just going to be using like a character creator. I don't think there is any protagonist or
Like Metal
story
Gear
as
Solid,
such.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Just makes me more mad
It's coming out next
the
year.
more I think about it.
That's what I got for
No
you.
thanks. No thanks.
Yeah,
I'll play
just
it. I'll give it a shot.
The premise of it is
It's weird.
the opposite of what I want out of another one of those.
At the same time, it's more Metal Gear Solid video game than I ever expected them to deliver again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got that going for it, I
Sure.
guess. I don't
Sure.
know.
Fine.
Yeah.
Why not?
You'll play it and you'll like it.
Maybe. Probably not.
Gamescom was pretty much a non-starter.
Yeah,
beyond,
nothing
beyond the
happened.
little trickle of kind of nothing that we got out of last week's show.
The Star Citizen panel.
Yeah,
or
that Star
something.
Citizen stuff.
They
I-
went down to a planet and got
Yes,
out.
that footage, like for the first time in forever, some Star Citizen stuff was received very positively on the internet. Like people kind of flipped out over that footage. Actually,
I watched a little bit of that, and they had a very direct No Man's Sky dig.
Mm.
Like, look how
Oh,
far we can see
no.
without,
Yeah,
generating the geometry.
It's weird. There's a little bit of blood in the water around that game with
Little
all
bit
these
of blood in the water.
other space games that are in the hopper.
Star Citizen has no fucking leg to stand
Oh,
on.
I know.
With that
I
stuff,
agree
with,
with
with
you.
the way
I
that
fully
thing's been
agree with
going.
you. I
Like,
fully agree
the
with you.
idea that they would even fucking attempt to do that. Like, hey, No Man's Sky shipped. Like,
Mhm.
call it what you want
Yeah.
to. They made it out the fucking door.
They delivered a product.
They delivered a product and didn't charge people a fucking $1,000 for a ship along the way or whatever it was. Like,
Yeah.
How far are they now? They're up to like a couple million.
They
Oh,
got
more than a
well
couple.
over
like
100
30,
million.
100,
Yeah.
yeah. Ooh.
I don't know.
Why?
Is it 100? I thought it was
Guys.
60.
Oh wait, did I?
Or maybe-
I hope I don't have that wrong.
I
I
don't know.
thought I saw there was a big headline when they had passed.
Oh, internet, you know better.
Maybe it was.
no. The internet does not. Absolutely does not know better.
No.
I could try to find. Yeah, they've passed 100 million.
Oh, wow.
That
Okay.
makes me. Gosh.
I hope that thing comes together and is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's
Yeah, it
footage they're going to
better.
go by.
But yeah, right? For that amount of money, like, hopefully they solve the impossible problems they're trying to solve. But
Right. Give me the best damn space game ever.
right. The last space game you'll ever need.
Let's hope. They did put out an hour of Final Fantasy 15 footage, which I trust that you viewed
Yes.
repeatedly.
Yes.
You've just had it on loop ever since.
Well, no,
How did that look?
but I have scrutinized it.
Yeah.
Game looks really good.
Yeah.
It opens on a very weird note. I don't know if you've watched it.
No.
Is it the beginning of the game?
So the footage that they put out starts at the very, very beginning of the game. And the game opens, and there's this old guy that kind of looks like Noctis, but he's dressed like the king, and he's surrounded by fire. And he's standing in front of a throne where there's a big animal creature, whatever, sitting on the throne with fire. And I'm thinking like, oh, this must be King Regis when he was younger, because they talk a lot about how the king and his friends also battled when they were younger. So I'm like, oh, we're opening on King Regis, and maybe they'll pull a Kingdom Hearts 2, and we'll spend the first 8 fucking hours playing as someone else. And then the 3 guys run up and they call him Noctis, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. And they all look older, and they all have like different hair and different clothes. And the first maybe 2 or 3 minutes are just them in this scenario with this fiery creature on the throne. And then it goes black, and then it goes back to them in the car, younger. So I think there's a time skip in this game. Like, that points to a time skip. And the interesting thing is that there was a 4chan leak last year listing off alleged plot points for Final Fantasy 15. And the first thing they mention is game opens on a time skip. Everyone is older. And so it's like, oh, like everyone was like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
they'd never do that.
I
And
was
like,
no, they're totally doing
hey,
that.
here
yeah.
they are. And like that aside, like there's some of the other plot points, I read them and I'm like, oh, okay, because spoilers don't bother me. But I don't know, like I don't know the how accurate that leak is, but it is kind of very suspicious.
I mean, at least it doesn't open with like some kind of fake underwater soccer thing.
yeah, right.
You
I
know?
don't know. That
right.
doesn't sound so bad.
No, the footage looks good. Like they show combat still looks a little busy, but they show off like the magic system, which is actually kind of like also from Final Fantasy X. It's like the Riku's Mix Overdrive with the crafting, where you can like craft
Right.
items, and
Yeah,
magic
yeah.
kind of works like the draw system from Final Fantasy VIII. We got a look at like a lot of the other characters in the world and a couple of other towns, and like that game looks fantastic. It looks beautiful.
It looks
but-
neat. Like
yeah.
I keep liking what I'm seeing out of it, which that's the first time I've said that about a Final Fantasy game since they went polygonal. So
Okay. It's valid.
Yeah. So I don't know, but
There's-
also
there's
it
a
feels
purity to
like
that
it feels like
perspective.
such a wide departure from
Yeah.
those games.
It
it
is,
does.
yeah, and I
That
think,
it-
yeah.
I wonder if it will. I wonder how it will go for them. I could see some players getting a hold of this. Like the combat is so different
Yeah.
from what it's
Yeah.
been. Like I wonder if people will just hate it for being like slightly more action oriented or something.
But I can see other
Well-
people maybe thinking it's not action oriented enough.
That's
Like, if
that's
it's kind of
my worry.
it's kind of
because I'm coming at it
straddling,
going like, man, I would love to play this game if it was a little more actiony. Like
yeah.
I like the characters, the world, like that stuff could be really cool. But if it is pulling back too much to try to work in the more of these standard kind of Final Fantasy tropes to its gameplay, I'll probably bow out of it at some point.
I haven't seen I've scrutinized that footage, and I've like played all the demos, and I've kind of like spent some time digging into it, and I honestly feel like this to me feels like no other Final Fantasy game I've played.
Yeah.
It feels like bits and pieces taken from other specific games, but I almost don't feel like I'm playing a Final Fantasy game,
Right.
because it's so like the 13 games did action, but also like the camera was like
Yeah,
static,
yeah.
and this you can actually
I
like
mean, that's,
flip around
you
the
know,
battlefield.
ul-
Yeah.
Ultimately, this thing wasn't a Final Fantasy game to begin with, right? It
No.
was a weird offshoot that was trying to be its own thing.
Yeah, it was.
So this is like effectively like
yeah.
this extreme case of rebranding,
Yeah.
like bringing it back into the fold.
Well, I don't know. I think it like
You're saying it's the Yoshi's Island of the Final
Yes.
Fantasy franchise?
That's basically what I'm saying.
Okay.
I
The-
can get behind that statement.
Some
Could
the
be the Super
marketing.
Mario too.
Yeah.
Marketing?
Suppose so.
Final
Something,
Fantasy USA.
something about the marketing feels really strange to me about this game. Specifically, like hearing you rattle off all these characters' names, like the extent to which they have tried to like introduce and familiarize people with the characters like months before it came out. Yes.
Have you been watching the anime?
Let's move on.
It's good. Like the movie and the anime did a really do the anime's still going. They do a really good job world building.
Yeah,
and like,
I guess so. It just seems like, when you're getting down to like the specific personality traits of your main characters, it seems like that's the kind of thing you'd want to let people discover in the course of playing the game.
To engage in any of that stuff, I would have to play the game first. Like I would have
Right,
to,
that's-
I would
that's
have
what
to
I
play
mean.
the game
That's
and
what I
want
mean.
more.
Like,
Like
I guess-
I'm probably
yeah.
never gonna be like, I'm gonna watch this prologue series before this
Yeah.
game comes
Yeah,
out.
I
At that
think
point, I don't even know if the game's
there's something like very cart before the horse about this
Yeah.
whole thing of like, here, care about these characters in this game you haven't played and don't know if you like yet.
Right.
Like it's weird, but
I have a consumption problem with Final Fantasy, so I'm seeing all of it.
Yeah, no, plenty of people do. So
Yeah.
I get why they would try that approach.
Yeah.
I just
sure. Plus, there's a lot riding on the game.
I heard
yeah.
that movie was like kind of awful.
Oh, I loved it.
Is
that
King's Glaive?
Is that
what it's
the
called?
super
Kingsglaive.
realistic looking CG one?
Okay.
It's all over the place. Like it is not a good standalone film.
Mm.
It's like if you're coming into it not knowing anything, it's kind of like, well, this is a mess. What the hell's going on?
Right.
And like, there's a couple of instances where like they like fridge a character really early on,
I'm
and
sorry,
then
they
they like
what? Like,
fridge. You know the term fridge? When a woman is killed just for the sake of plot.
oh, I've never heard that term.
Yeah.
Huh.
There's some stuff like that, and there's a couple of other things that happen that just don't make sense. And there's a weird emotional leaps. But like if you've sort of been on the hype train with Final Fantasy 15 and you understand like who these characters are and like what's going on, like it is absolutely like a fantastic film. Like it is the best Final Fantasy film that company has put
It's a
out.
very high bar. It's a very high bar.
Very, very high bar. No, and it's beautiful. Like the production value is fantastic. But then there's also like some weird stuff. Like we talked about this on the Airship podcast. Ultros from Final Fantasy VI.
Whoa.
Is in
okay,
that
now you're
film?
speaking my language.
He's been in he's been in the marketing. Like he's been in all the marketing, and people are like, "Oh, it's the octopus." But he's literally like his sole function is to appear on an airship and just like he doesn't talk, doesn't do anything, but like there's a giant purple octopus on an airship, and there's no reason for him to be. And the movie does
See,
stuff
that
like
sounds
that.
really good. That's like, yeah, all right,
It's-
fucking sure, why not?
Yeah, it's an amazing action sequence. Like the way that they do their action sequences in this film are fantastic. But if you're just like, I'm looking for a good film, and you walk into it, it's just like, what did I see? Like I have friends that aren't on the hype train and they hate it, and like I really loved it. Peter really liked it. Like, but by itself, it's
Does it have the
maybe
star
not great.
power of someone like Ming Na?
I think Sean Bean is in it, isn't he?
Oh,
I interviewed Aaron Paul, who plays
Oh.
who plays the main character.
well, there you go.
Yeah, it was Aaron Paul, and he was like, I didn't know what all this stuff was, and then I read it.
I
and
still
it was,
don't.
And it was magic, and then like, no, it was great. Like he was really excited about it. But they have him, and they have Lena Headey, and they had Sean Bean. And if you know anything about characters that Sean Bean plays, you can make a really good guess about what happens in this film.
Mm-hmm.
No, and they do a really good job.
That's kind of a solid cast. I'm surprised.
Yeah, no, they did. They have like a really, really good job, and a lot of the actors that also did the voice work did a lot of the mocap
Okay.
for the characters, and it's very beautiful. Like you can see the pores on.
Yeah, some of the
So they sunk a whole lot of money into
Yes.
this.
Yeah,
I mean,
it looks good.
To their credit, some of the promo shots that came out of that thing early on were like, is that a photograph? Like, what is it? What am I looking at here?
The
Like,
whole
it's
movie, the
really
whole
good
film
looking
looks like
CG.
that. Yeah, whole film looks like that.
Cool.
I ended up
It's
in a
amazing.
karaoke bar at the International one night, and they were just projecting Advent Children really big on one wall
No.
of this shitty karaoke bar, and it was a kind of a magical moment.
That film is.
We just actually ended up just sitting around watching Advent Children for a while.
Did Mitch watch Advent Children?
He was not there.
Damn it.
He was at a GameWorks playing Dota that
Whatever.
night.
Boo.
What did Kessler sing?
He went home. He did not go. He had to bail after.
He's worried there would be bananas at the bar. And
Yes.
he's like, I can't be near him.
Yes. Let's see. One more quick story. It's kind of it's sort of a small thing, but Cappy's Below has been delayed.
Yeah.
I wonder if the No Man's Sky stuff rattled them a little bit, and they felt compelled to say something.
What stuff specifically you think?
Like, you know how, well, you saw the big Reddit thread where like the witch hunt for No Man's Sky, where that guy like compiled every interview
Oh, yeah,
and like
yeah, sure.
every
Yeah, yeah.
piece of like
Mm.
what
Yeah, but
Sean Murray has said.
you think Below occupies that kind of space? I don't feel like they've like overpromised for that thing. If anything, like
No.
like I know basically like broadly what kind of game it is, but I don't feel like they've like promised the moon and I'm looking for a bunch of features or anything.
No, they haven't, but I can definitely understand the feeling of a smaller indie studio creating a game. Like I've played Below a couple times at these preview events, and it's very big. Like it's not like, I don't want to call it like No Man's Sky big, but they're putting a lot of thought into it. It's a very deep, very big world, and I can definitely see why a team like that saw what happened around No Man's Sky, looked at their game, knew that they needed more time, and decided that they wanted to just say something to get ahead of the messaging.
Instead of just like, hey, a few weeks before our promised release date, by the way, we're not going to make it. Like, just say it now.
Yeah.
But also, like, Hello Games has been, and Sony have been completely silent on this whole thing. Like, they haven't really said anything.
Yeah.
So
They haven't even been putting out, like, amazing patch notes for the password, the
Well, they
patches
they
and
pushed
stuff,
like
right?
2 patches over the weekend.
Yeah.
I think.
I think you know, I mean, Hello Games is still a small studio, right?
Yeah.
Like that's either they're sitting around answering email and writing patch notes, or they're fixing the fucking game.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so I
it's
think
kind of
my
they can't do both.
My impression is all the patches so far are just bug fixes. There's
Right.
kind of not much to talk about there.
Yeah.
Right.
Other than we fixed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
Like, I
so
don't think any features
there have
are
been.
coming.
They did eventually put out a list for some of those patches
Yeah.
that was just like, hey, you can alt tab now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the PC version, it's not going to break it.
But like I definitely see where Cappy maybe wanted to get ahead of the messaging and just be like, "Hey, our game is coming. We're not ready yet.
Yeah.
Like, please don't."
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
know.
pretty earnest. I won't read this whole message, but they're pretty earnest about like, it's not quite where we want it to be, and we're not going to promise another release date. We're just going to go dark for a while.
Yeah.
Smart.
And the next time you hear from us, we will have a date, but we're not ready to say that yet. So
That's smart.
that game looks great. Every time I've seen it, I'm
Mm-hmm.
super excited to play it. But delays are understandable.
Yeah.
Like you gotta look at the upside
Yeah.
of this stuff and not be disappointed that it's not coming soon, because you have to assume it will be a better game for it.
Yeah, when it's stuff like this, when it's like, 2 weeks before release and they, obviously have known for a while, but just decided to message it then. Like, that's the stuff where you're like, man, this didn't need to be this way.
Yeah.
But yeah, this seems.
Yeah. I mean, this game
Yeah.
never had a firm date to begin with.
Games get pushed. It
Yeah.
happens.
Yep. It does happen.
Don't pre-order games.
Yes.
They don't.
Yeah.
Yes. It continues to be solid wisdom. All right. That's it for news for the week. Let's take one more quick break. We'll come back and read a few emails.
It's time to shave.
Says you. Why is it time to shave?
Because now you can shave affordably as often as you like.
Oh, I thought you were saying it had like some scruff going or something.
No,
With a little...
I think you look all right. You could maybe tighten up a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
But honestly, look, razors out there cost a lot of money.
That's true.
So, you find yourself like trying to get the most out of razors, scraping up your face with razors that are too old. You should just replace them.
Dragging this jagged, dull metal across your face. You're like ripping the hairs out, not cutting them.
Forget that jagged, dull metal. With the Dollar Shave Club, you can afford to replace that razor anytime you like. And with this hot deal, you can get a month of the Executive Razor for free.
Executive Razor?
There's just one thing you need to do.
What's that?
Purchase a tube of Dr. Carver's shave butter.
The Dr. Carver?
Dr. Carver provides his shave butter directly to you to use on your face. And if you're a new member, you will get a month of the Executive Razor for free.
Do I have to be an executive?
No, you do not. That's
cool.
the best part. You don't need to be an executive to feel this executive level touch. And shave butter is not just your average shave cream. It's a unique conditioning formula with high-quality natural ingredients. That's right. It'll leave your skin unbelievably soft and smooth.
It's a family recipe.
That's right.
The Carver family recipe.
Carver family recipe. It goes into that shave butter. And now is a great time to join Dollar Shave Club. That's right. New members that buy the tube of shave butter.
Shave butter?
Get a month of the Executive Razor for free. You can take advantage of this offer today by going to dollarshaveclub.com/bombcast. One more time. dollarshaveclub.com/bombcast.
Now I got it.
Yeah.
Without any of this hair on my face, I can hear you very well.
Yeah, no, let's get all that hair out of the way so you can understand what I'm saying to you about this shave butter.
All right, Jason, I'm going to test your metal this time. Emails. Oh,
God damn it! I can't even get my
That's what you
headphones
get.
on.
That's what you get
You
for
said-
getting out ahead of it last
Yep.
time. Is
you set a high bar.
Man, hold up. Jeez.
Oh, he's playing sound cues with no headphones on. We don't even know if he's going to play the right
I don't
thing.
even know if this is right.
Emails.
There's nothing coming out. I don't know.
Cool. See?
Emails.
See?
Hey!
There it is. Emails.
Say it 3 times. Like
Yeah,
Beetlejuice.
yes, right. Emails.
Beetle mails.
Bombcast@johnbomb.com. This email comes in from requested that I not read their name.
All right.
It's about
Ooh.
No
You should
Man's
read it.
Sky.
Mysterious.
A black hat hacker.
Yep, yep, totally. Not exactly. I'm in Colorado Springs where you can buy dope. And while I'm not a big stoner, the stars aligned such that my wife and child left town for 6 days right when No Man's Sky was released.
Oh, shit.
I figured, as Jeff did, that this game seemed made for getting ripped, sitting back and cruising through space, checking out beautiful atmospheric colors that are only possible because they re-engineered the periodic table. The unfortunate fact is that the flaws that you've gone over, the repetitive gameplay, the repetitive objectives, and especially the ever-present inventory management, are magnified by being stoned, serving only to make me frustrated that I am not only wasting my time in inventories, but wasting my best chance to get weird by myself in a decade. I played the game sober for a couple days, and turns out it's just fine, not great, but fine. In my experience, using the drugs only makes it more of a frustrating, obfuscated mess. By the by, I wrote this while watching your Grow Up quick look, and I can't wait until my family leaves again, because that looks like a game to play while you're out of your mind.
How often does
can
his
see that.
family leave?
I know, yeah. Not
Well,
often.
he's doing a
enough.
lot of drugs, so
Obviously.
Yeah, right. So I had people on Twitter say that the opposite.
Really?
That No Man's Sky was fantastic.
Oh,
for,
interesting.
For
Okay.
people that are high on the drugs.
Yes.
I think it just affects people differently. Like I could see being totally paranoid. It's like, oh fuck, my oxygen is gonna run out.
Space cop. Shit.
Fucking
No.
space
They
cops.
know.
These hopping mushrooms are going to jump on top of me.
No joke.
Those mushrooms are terrifying.
Yeah. I don't know, Proposition 64 coming up in November. We'll see what happens.
Oh, for California?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Good job.
I think it's 64. I saw it on the news yesterday.
Can't you buy dope now?
Not
I-
here.
Oh,
Yeah, but
you need
to
a medical.
You need to have glaucoma
glaucoma or just
to get it now.
depression. You can go to like
Or
a
just
website,
sadness, or just like my
and
elbow.
you talk to somebody over a webcam,
Right.
And they're like, "Are you feeling
You
bad
clearly
about
need
yourself?
the dope.
Yes, I have heard people.
Let me get you a recommendation."
I've heard of people doing it remotely here.
Yeah.
I walk by a dispensary on my way to the bus every day.
Yeah.
and they
There's
have a bouncer out front.
yes, the one opened
one
like
here?
one opened
Yeah.
very close to me recently, and yes, there's a burly looking dude standing outside at all times.
Gotta protect the dope.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You'd have to.
Cash crop.
Yeah.
Uh,
They should legalize that. I wonder if it'll pass here. I know.
Yeah, there was so the news broke it down yesterday. Like the pro side has put millions of dollars into their campaign. The anti side has spent like $100,000 so far
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
on opposing it. So
And this is just to make it like recreational.
yeah,
or
it's the
whatever.
same thing that Seattle did, or I mean Washington State did.
Okay.
Colorado, a bunch of others, right? It's like
Mhm.
California's lagging at this point in that regard.
That's because so much of it gets grown here by people that have an interest in keeping it illegal to keep the prices high and untaxed. That that it's. I think the politics of it get a little murkier around here.
My understanding was last time,
But I don't know.
I think there was a lot of out of state money involved in
Yeah.
fighting it last time.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Anyway, not to digress too much.
I don't care, man.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
you don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
All right, good to know. Spencer from Sydney writes in with our weekly Kim.com update.
Oh, thank God.
I know.
Yeah.
I know you've been wondering.
Yeah.
I heard you guys mention Kim.com when the subject of another Metroid 2 remake came up, specifically the remake being DMCA'd by Nintendo, and that the Mega link was even taken down. You said, oh no, if Kim.com is involved, it must be serious. But something you might not know is that Kim.com was forced out of Mega by a Chinese company during a hostile takeover.
Weird.
He currently actively advises against using the site and is now trying to resurrect megaupload.com with even more security features. So there you go.
Wow.
I just love that there is a guy, apparently in Sydney, Australia, where when he hears of Kim.com goes, well,
Yep.
time
to set the
bang
record
out the old
straight.
email.
Time to set the
Like,
record straight.
thank you. That's fascinating.
Yep.
I think the whole point of like when Mega got launched, it was like the idea of like, oh, this is extra super secure and all
Right.
this other stuff. So
Yeah.
I could see why, hey, this Chinese company got in the middle of all this.
Yeah. Now he's trying to wrap back around.
Yeah.
I briefly wound up starting to read an interview yesterday with Mona.com after reading this email, and then I was like, questioning my life choices.
What is
That was his
what-
wife.
Oh,
It's the idea that somebody would not only marry him but actually change their game.
.com.
.com.
Why?
It was too much for me.
Why? Maybe this gentleman can write back in and explain to me why his name is Kim.com.
I don't know. I mean, he changed it.
But what? But why?
To have his name be the domain.
Does he own Kim.com?
I assume so. I don't know. I could
I
go
mean,
there
those
right
you
I'm sure he
have
owns
to.
Kim.com.com.
He was Kimball.org, right? Wasn't that him back in the day?
That sounds right.
Like way back in the day.
That sounds right.
I think that was him.
Arnold Soundboards.
Yes.
The wormhole.
Oh fuck. I mean, I went to Kim.com and I believe that's his yacht.
Okay.
I believe it.
There he is.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah,
No, apparently he
let's
put out
download the album.
Sure.
Apparently
Alba.
he put out an
He put
album.
Yes,
He's got a
yes,
yacht and he put out an album.
Wow. There's a music video. There's several music videos.
Watch the video of the raid.
Here's a picture of the White
The
House.
truth will come out. What the fuck is going on?
U.S. government versus you and Kim.com. What?
Yes. So
Mega upload, the copyright lobby, and the future of digital rights.
yeah, those are like
He wrote a white
yeah.
paper. Okay, wow. Okay. 10 facts about the Mega upload scandal.
The rabbit hole
Man,
just gets
dude,
deeper.
he is Mr.
deeper.
Internet, basically. He's got a book.
He's
Okay.
as internet as you can get,
Closing this tab.
and apparently quite a good Call of Duty player.
Yeah, he was I think he was like
Really?
he was a Counter-Strike pro, or was it
Okay.
Call of Duty pro?
I think he was like #1 on some Call of Duty
Yeah, he was-
leaderboard,
he
like
was, like-
after the bust and everything.
Wow.
He was like some frighteningly good. I guess maybe it was Call of Duty, not CS. It's a weird dude.
We live in strange times.
I know.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great that the world is this weird.
Could be worse. Let's see. This one also anonymous. Hey guys, associates of mine work for an organization negotiating for the freedom of wrongfully jailed prisoners, with a recent success story gaining traction in the news. After 11 years in prison, this young man is finally being released, and I have been tasked with putting together a video game care package for him. What do you get for someone that's been on the inside for over a decade, whose last console was an original PlayStation 2? What are the important things from last generation they must play? What from this generation? They're also a big wrestling fan, so I considered getting them the first and last wrestling games that came out during their sentence. But on further consideration, that may actually do more harm than good. Any suggestions you can
this is
give
the
would
kid
be
from
appreciated.
Making a
Familiar with the
Murderer?
characters to get back into wrestling.
Yeah,
So it's
that's what I was thinking. Is this
I don't believe
totally
so.
think it is.
I don't believe
He was
so.
a
Brendan
wrestling fan.
Dassey?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just read the entirety of the email, so anything.
He was
else is-
a wrestling fan. He was just released, actually.
Yeah. He was,
I-
they
well,
overturned
this
his
says
verdict.
is finally being released.
Right.
I don't know that this has taken place yet.
Oh my god.
I think he's being. I don't know if he's at home yet, but I know that he was a big wrestling fan.
Huh.
Ooh.
Grand Theft Auto,
yeah, that was actually my first. The first
Well,
thing that came to mind was
5.
absolutely GTA 5.
GTA
Oh,
5.
5,
But
sure.
to
I was-
Metal
see-
Gear Solid 5.
I was trying to.
Yeah.
I was trying to think back. Where was GTA 11? Years
Which
ago?
If it- if
version
the
of
first-
Manhunt
I
do you
guess
think we
Vice,
should?
City, Vice City would have been out
So it's GTA, or I'm sorry, 2005 onward, right?
Kingdom Hearts
11
for,
2.
years?
for
Yeah.
what?
11 years.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
that one might have been even San Andreas at that point.
maybe San Andreas was out by then.
But
Give him 5.
Yeah.
5's the
Yeah,
best one.
yeah, sure.
just to kind of see how far things have come
Oh yeah,
with a game that this person is most likely familiar with
Yeah,
by
sure.
owning a PlayStation 2.
yes. That's a
I
good
think
one.
that's just if you want to see the size and scope of games and how
Yeah.
they've changed, that's probably a good one.
Yeah,
What's the
give
best
him-
wrestling game? All Stars?
Yeah. Yes.
I could get behind that.
Yeah, that would be. That's
Okay.
That's not going to bring you up to date on modern wrestling the way that a person in that situation may want to.
But it's
You
going
know,
to
but
have all his
Look,
old...
if you're in jail, my understanding is that they just watch wrestling all the time anyway.
Okay.
So maybe he's up on
Yeah.
the storylines. So, I might say WWE All Stars. That'd be a cheap game to get. That is a fun, good time. Though that's only if you have someone else to play with. Playing alone's not always the greatest.
Alexa, you got any ideas What stands out to you? from the last?
I don't know. The Witcher?
Witcher
Are
3?
we going that
Yeah.
far?
Yeah,
Witcher 3?
but like this person's
Just
been on the inside for so
Go
long.
outside.
Yeah, exactly. Go outside, not The Witcher 3.
No.
Don't.
Yeah.
GTA,
I don't know.
I,
I
think
thought
is a good
GTA
choice.
is good. I don't know. Witcher is a good example of like here's how fucking big a game can
Yeah,
be.
that's
in
true.
this, in this
Yeah.
day and age. Like just the sheer scale is really something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pokemon Go. That'll get him outside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, give him a smartphone. Like shit.
Give him a smartphone
There,
and
there
Pokemon
was
Go.
no iPhone when he
Fuck.
went in.
Can you?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this just recently. I was driving past a bus stop and saw 3 people just like staring at their phones, and I was like, some people probably still look at that and go, "Man, we're going to shit. The world's going down." It's like, fuck that. They could be sitting there reading newspapers. It would be just as
Yeah.
locked down. Like the world is better as a result of all these phones. God damn it.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. No, and yeah, I was just thinking like, man, that's like so recent in the grand scheme of things. I can't imagine. You know what? I bet, depending on where he was locked up, I bet that you'd probably see some smartphones kicking around inside.
Maybe.
It's getting smuggled in somehow.
Yeah, sure.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Playing some Candy Crush.
Yes, indeed. All right, GTA and a smartphone.
Wow.
That's a good start.
Or 3DS, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe.
There's a ton of Nintendo stuff.
How about a 2DS?
There is, but is
Ooh,
he a
yeah.
Mario kind of guy if he likes wrestling?
I don't know.
I
Should
imagine
be.
Wrestling
the
is for
Venn
children,
diagram.
so
Yeah.
yeah. like if anything, Mario
we
at this
know?
point is the more.
Dan fits in that diagram for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a huge
solidly.
fanboy on both.
Monster Hunter.
accounts.
No.
Get him on.
Welcome back to the room.
I would rather go back to jail at that point.
It's dark. but
Burnout
also-
Paradise.
GTA 5.
But also honest.
Good start.
Yeah.
It's a good start.
Burnout Paradise is a good game.
Hey, are there any
Yeah.
good mods for Burnout Paradise?
Not really.
Not really?
Not that I've seen anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
Did that thing not? That,
I don't
seemed,
know-
that
I
thing
don't know
seemed
that
like
I-
a prime
Mm.
candidate
I don't know
for
that
a bunch
I've-
of wacky mods. But,
Yeah.
hmm.
They put out their own DLC for it, and most of that's in that version that's sold on Steam now. But I don't know that there was a. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I haven't really looked.
I think I saw one that like added a new area or something like
Oh,
that. But yeah, I booted it up over the weekend. Just and then started looking for mods. Didn't really find anything though.
Yeah,
I would love like a high definition
Sure.
like fucking HDR shit that you see in like Grand Theft Auto or whatever. That'd look fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I just tend to not look for mods for games that are usually not like explicitly moddable.
Sure.
Because they always seem just janky enough that it's like, I don't know if I have it in me to hassle with this. And that seemed like that type of game.
You're a tinkerer though. Sometimes
Yeah.
you like to mess around with.
I do
shit.
some stuff.
Yeah.
Let
But
me tell you about X-Plane.
all
Oh my
Let me
right.
God.
tell you about downloading your
No.
own nav mesh.
What if I cheat engine
I was
my
about
way
to
through
say,
X-Plane
Ooh.
and then I can fly through the earth?
There you go.
You're more the like editing a hex address type than the
Yeah.
clean faces type.
Yeah, I was more of the yes, exactly, like hex editing floppy disks, like save games on floppy
Yes.
disks to give myself more money. Like
Yes.
that was that kind of stuff.
That I could see.
I did end up buying a mod that changed a bunch of sounds in the game because
Hmm.
like the loop for the Cessna was like 3 seconds
Oh,
long and
yeah.
very apparent.
Yikes.
So I paid $8 and
Nice.
got a
Nice.
good one.
Got yourself a nice
Damn.
10-hour sound file.
Yeah.
There you go. Jonathan writes in from Sugarland, Texas, with what I think is probably the most exciting email of the week.
Oh, all right.
At Gamescom, it was revealed that the Tekken 7 story mode will include going through events in past Tekken games, such as young Heihachi beating up Kid Kazuya.
Yeah.
Along with the E3 news of having QTEs just like in Mortal Kombat, is it safe to say that pressing the QTE to have Heihachi throw Kazuya off a volcano could at least be a candidate for best moment of 2017?
I sure hope it's in there.
It better
fucking
be.
better be.
Yeah.
But
How
Kid
could it not be?
Kazuya, have you seen the screenshots for this?
I have
know.
not.
He's adorable.
Oh, is
He's
it like
just
an actual
a,
child?
Yes. Oh, it's so.
Oh,
good.
wow. I didn't know they were going that far back.
It's really.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about any of that stuff, but fucking Tekken 7 sounds better every time I hear about it.
Yeah.
Looks good.
I can't wait.
I don't know how we live in a world.
They put
where-
out, I think, like Nvidia's YouTube channel put out footage of Tekken 7 running at 4K.
I saw that
that
going
looked real
around.
crisp.
Yeah.
But it was like all full of disclaimers, like, "Hey, this is not us saying that the PC version of the game will even support 4K. It's still in the
okay.
works. Blah 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 blah." But
Here you go.
here's this. I'm like, all
Here
right,
you go.
look good.
Did you see Nvidia put up like a gigapixel screenshot of The Witcher?
Yeah, I don't know.
That
I don't know
like
what their thing is.
you'd have to go look at it,
Oh,
but you can
Nvidia.
zoom in to the point that you would need like 10 bazillion monitors to show the whole thing. Some really weird stuff going on
That
over
is
there.
weird. Yeah.
Let's see. Alex writes in from Seattle with PAX looming. I'm writing to you since PAX West is right around the corner. Just wondering if Jeff has ever been to the Seattle Pinball Museum. It's about a mile south of the convention in the International District. It's a great place with lots of tables, and you can play them all for about $15 a day for as long as you want. They also have beer and other refreshments. If you have time, I strongly recommend you check it out.
I might try to make it over there.
Never been there?
No.
I would totally go with you.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That's maybe we should just kick off PAX for an afternoon. Like I don't know why Seattle is such a big pinball place. There's also that
Shorties.
Shorties, yes, that bar in Seattle that's got a ton.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They've got like they
Saw
must
a
have
fight outside that place
Ah,
last
Yeah.
time.
nice.
Dog City.
Oh, that's
man.
where we entered Dog City.
That's Dog City.
Oh shit. That's right. Yeah, they've got like probably 20 tables in that place or something,
something
right?
like
In the
that.
back.
I keep meaning to get over to. There's a place here in town called Free Gold Watch.
Oh yeah, I like that place.
Yeah, is
Oh,
it just like can you just go there and
Yeah.
play stuff?
Yep.
Okay, because when I look up their page, it's all about like, hey, here's the pinball leagues, and it's league night for pinball, and like
No.
all this other stuff.
Is that place in the hate?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, go over there, get some Cuban food at Parada 22.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Not a cha-cha-cha.
You can go to Cha 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 as
Yeah.
well. If you want to pick up some vinyl, you can go to
Amoeba.
Amoeba
Yeah.
right there.
We did recently acquire a record player.
Hey man,
Nice.
Amoeba's
So-
great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's maybe like 12 machines,
Okay.
something like that.
All right. I saw they
Um,
had an MK3 machine.
Okay.
It looked like they had some actual video stuff, not just pinball.
That's where I first played Wizard of Oz,
Oh, okay.
which is fun.
Yeah, it's a weird machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I discovered that the Jurassic Park arcade machine is great.
The Sega shooter, that Model 3 thing?
No, the pinball machine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Or did I say arcade again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, the pinball machine. Also, apparently they do T-shirt screen printing there in
Nice.
the back.
Yeah, my understanding is that was their main business,
Huh.
and they
Yeah.
had some pinball machines
in the back.
And then
Okay.
at some point, it
Now I was
Yeah.
in my mind. I was like, how the fuck are they running an arcade in
Yeah.
San Francisco? Like, there's no way you could afford that.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nice. It's near the
I've
park
heard
too.
good
You can
things,
Go for
yeah.
a walk. Yeah.
A third anonymous email.
Ooh.
unprecedented.
None of these are actually anonymous. I have the names, but I'm not going to say them.
Edward Snowden.
You never know. I work for a NASA contractor to design and test equipment for future missions. In
Whoa.
order to test equipment I help design before we send it into space, we are going on a reduced gravity parabolic aircraft flight.
Oh, sweet.
Which
Yeah.
has the affectionate name, I'm sure you've heard of it, the Vomit
Vomit
Comet.
Comet.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the one. The way the flight works is that the plane goes up at a steep 45-degree angle while experiencing 2x Earth's gravity. Then it begins to arc, giving 25 seconds of microgravity, then descends at a 45-degree angle with 2x Earth's gravity again. The process repeats itself a number of times during the flight. This constant up and down can make passengers sick, thus giving the aircraft its name, the Vomit Comet. Obviously, I am super pumped to go on this flight, but I have a question for you guys. If you could experience zero gravity for a 25-second period, what would you do with it?
Vomit everywhere.
The coolest fucking skateboard tricks you've ever
Would
seen.
you just bring your deck with you?
Yeah.
Just in case.
With no wheels on it.
Finally
Just
nail
doing
that
fucking-
ollie.
Yeah. Finally.
Shoot a deck of cards.
Ooh, that's not bad. Yeah.
I would urinate. I mean,
Yeah.
With or without pants?
without. I mean,
Okay.
Well, why would you wear pants in that
I
scenario?
guess that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why wear anything?
If it's
I guess?
zero G, get naked. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's true.
Huh.
Get
Yeah.
naked's a pretty solid
I think
answer.
something with liquids would be fun.
Yeah, something with
watching
liquids.
these
It doesn't
blobs of-
necessarily need to
yeah.
be urine.
Not
but
vomiting though.
do the thing like well, I don't know if it's microgravity, then maybe it wouldn't actually work as well as we're thinking. But I'm thinking like the shot of the astronaut and the fucking blob of orange juice and sticking the straw in it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
drinking it.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I want to do that.
Yeah. That sounds good.
But
Yeah.
with booze.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All
No,
good answers.
no,
Zero
just-
G shots.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Ooh, yeah.
Jello shots. I think is
Okay.
how you gotta do
Jello
that.
Okay.
shots.
How you gotta do
Okay.
Okay.
that.
Just go.
Yeah.
Try to. Yeah.
I like it.
That'd be fun. We should,
Cool.
we should get on the Vomit. Drew, can you fly us?
Absolutely.
You should fly us up.
Yep.
To get some microgravity.
Yay.
Okay. Right.
Excellent.
I didn't realize they actually did it multiple times. I thought it was like a one shot,
Yeah.
and then that's it.
Yeah, no,
That would
they
suck.
just
Yeah.
they just sit there and do it. Just sounds crazy.
Yeah.
That's
throw
probably
up
what
everywhere.
That's probably what I would do.
Yeah.
That's how they shot Apollo
It's it.
13.
Yeah.
God, that's insane to think that they shot all
They
that
did a
stuff.
movie like that.
Yeah, to shoot in like 20-second increments.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That movie's good.
I haven't seen that since it was in the theater.
Yeah.
It's good.
Does it hold up?
Mm-hmm.
Jacob in Arizona writes in and says, I just saw an article about PlayStation VR reintroducing demo discs for VR. Would this fit under Demo Derby or Rodeo?
I mean, potentially both.
Oof.
Crossover
Some
episode.
Yeah.
big
dear.
questions we're going to have to ask ourselves in the coming months.
We'll see. I don't know. That seems really weird.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't just have you download demos. for
Right.
that
Like
thing.
once you're at the highest possible tech of VR,
Right.
it's a safe assumption that you've probably got some
Probably
internet.
got some internet. Here's a demo disc. Yeah, I don't know.
Weird.
Mm.
It's going to be weird, like rolling PSVR into that thing.
They
to
probably just
begin
need
with.
the demo discs, if only for retail.
Yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
they're stationing all those kiosks.
Sure.
It's like, hey, here's the disc that goes in this unit.
Or
that
maybe there's one,
installs
you
the
know,
demos.
maybe there's one
Hmm.
packed in with the headset or something.
There is.
Okay.
Yeah,
That would make sense.
I think. I think.
Like the whole impetus for Rodeo though is like there's like a bunch of shitty half-finished things hitting Steam constantly.
Yep.
You know, like you have to assume the stuff they're going to do for that thing is going to be a lot more curated.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, I don't know, man. You saw Inner Kung Fu
Oh, that's right.
Like
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
if they're letting that appear on the PlayStation 4, all bets
No,
are
I-
off.
I can't
True.
believe that. Yeah.
Did Kessler sign
we
that?
should- we
Like,
should-
we should find out who
that.
made that happen.
Get him on the phone.
Inner Kung Fu.
The Inner Kung Fu game. Finally,
Yeah.
the true story can be told. Whew. Kyle from Arizona says, "Get a 360 camera and do stupid shit with it." Any thoughts?
I believe GameSpot ordered some 360 cameras.
Yeah.
Maybe we did.
Yeah,
Maybe
we were
we
looking into that
did.
recently. Those things are not cheap.
No, they're not.
Or
I saw one that was actually not super expensive.
I guess
but-
it varies, I'm
but
sure.
yeah,
But
yeah.
the was it a GoPro rig that we were looking at?
So there are a bunch of like consumer level products.
Mhm.
This is all like I've just been. Or you guys rented one or tested it out? I don't know. Whatever. There's one that's like cheap and bad. And then there's one where it's just like a 3D printed cube that you strap in a bunch of GoPros to. And that's like thousands of dollars because you have to buy all the GoPros
Oh,
too.
right. Yeah.
Seems like a lot of work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
One of them live streams, but it streams from itself. So to like
you'd have to,
integrate it into our system, we would have to like stream it to a PC and then capture that PC, and then
you would lose the 360ness of it in
Right.
the first place.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
yeah, yes, we need to get to a point where we have one of those things in here just so we can just set it on the couch and just put out episodes of shows of like, it's you on the couch. I think that'd be real stupid.
I think that would be real stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if GameSpot gets one, and we can mess around with it and
Yeah.
see if it's
We'll steal it.
right
I
for
mean,
us.
I'm not
Yeah.
the keeper, but go for it.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks for
So you
explicit
say-
I gave you the
permission.
okay.
Yeah, giving us permission. all right.
Awesome.
I gave you the okay.
Arte will not be bothered
Who
at all.
is that? Who is
I don't
Arte
know.
even? I don't even know.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I heard we should blame him. I don't know if that's
Mm.
what I was told. Carlo writes in from Sacramento. This is a question mostly for Jeff. Greetings from Sacramento. What's up with the parental advisory logo nowadays? Most mainstream hip-hop carries the stamp because the lyrics include swear words and suggestive themes, and it's marketed to the customers of Walmart and Target. In that case, the purpose is being fulfilled. But when checking out random Bandcamp albums from around NorCal, I noticed that some rappers who are just independently uploading their mixtapes have the stamp as well. It's safe to assume that these folks are not signed to a major nor indie label, yet they include the logo on their artwork. Most people who are going to listen to it anyways know it's probably going to be explicit, so it seems redundant to have the logo.
Legitimacy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that just
that
a-
is why when I put out, I used that
Did you
logo
really?
on something when we put it out because it was just like well, there's cursing in here. Obviously, there is. Like,
It's so
you're
you
not an
know
idiot.
that. Oh, great! There is cursing.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
It's a selling
but
point.
also
Good.
like you look at it and go like, oh, that's like that's what a professional album would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when you're some dude fucking designing the album for the rap album you recorded in your
Okay.
bathroom,
Okay.
you're like, yeah, this is fucking some real shit. Like we didn't go to Pen and Pixel, but we went and got an album cover. Like we put the explicit lyrics thing on there. Yeah, yeah.
It's like the Nintendo
So
seal
yeah, I
of
was
quality.
Exactly.
just about to say, yes. Oh, yeah. He says, I even listened to a rapper single that didn't have any explicit content, yet still had the logo.
Fucking A.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just something you got to have. It's one of the boxes you have to check. Let's see. How about 2 more emails? Let's do 2 more emails. This one does also not have a name on it. But
Man.
request to be anonymous. De facto anonymous email. Just wondering if any of you guys, especially Drew, have ever explored the world of MRE reviews on YouTube.
A little bit,
Yeah?
but I prefer to do my own.
Of course, yes. Expect no less. These guys unpack rations ranging from current ones to ones from the 90s, 80s, Vietnam, and even the Second World War.
Vietnam. Wow.
They then proceed to eat as much of the food as they can that hasn't gone bad and even try some of the rancid food.
What?
The videos are actually really insightful. It's cool to see how the rations change over time, like including cigarettes up until the 70s when they were removed. My favorite Steve 1989's videos are weirdly calming in a way.
Are they ASMR
Steve
MRE
1989.
reviews?
One time while doing acid at my brother's house, we put his videos on and ended up watching hours of him eat various out-of-date food, including beef hash that was over 40 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So, all right.
Got to spend that time somehow.
There's your weekly dumb thing on YouTube update.
Ugh.
As someone who has been tasked with gathering some dumb stuff on YouTube in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like these emails are
Oh yeah,
especially useful to me.
that's right. You're gonna be on 404.
Yeah,
Pat
doing,
Bear's
doing that Pat
panel.
Bear panel.
Nice.
You done it?
I did it at PAX
Yeah.
East, yeah.
Yeah. What was your thing?
All anime,
I don't know if I can.
and then
It's not a road
and
I
then
can walk down.
the fat seal vine,
Okay.
where the beat drops as it zooms in on
Oh,
like the big
right.
seal.
Yeah,
It's a
okay.
good vine.
Yeah.
It's a good vine.
Yeah, that's not bad. What did you do?
Grocery hauls.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's mainstream culture at this point.
Yeah.
So I have to go a lot deeper than that.
I did North Korea videos.
Okay. All right. That's good.
North Korean music.
Yeah.
I think it was. I managed to find 3
Okay.
videos of that.
All right.
K-pop.
There are a lot of there are a lot of bad mukbang videos on YouTube, like
Oh, that's
Korean.
the eating,
now that
yeah.
like Twitch has a social eating category and
Yeah.
stuff, like it seems like at some point this thing
Ugh.
that is already it seems like it's kind of out of date. Like people are trying to like bring it to the U.S. or something, and now it seems like there's just this abundance of people running eating channels, and
There's an Instagram account of a woman who just smashes her face onto bread. She lays the bread on the
Okay.
table and
All
then
right.
rolls her face into it.
okay,
And she has like millions of followers.
all right, I'll look that up after this.
Let's see why.
Yeah. I don't know. Like there are eating channels that I would point you towards for your thing if you were like totally out of ideas.
Yeah.
But like at some point, the people in them, like you would only show them because you are being mean
Yeah,
to the
I'm
people
not-
in the
I'm
videos,
not- I'm
and
not down
that
with
panel
that.
is not about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That panel is meant to be uplifting. It is
Yes.
not just like look at these people.
Yes.
How are they? What is going on here? How could you be that dumb?
I'll probably steer in a different direction on that
Yeah,
stuff.
you should.
Yeah.
You got a week to figure it out.
Dota videos.
Yep.
No.
Ooh, I don't
No
know.
Dota videos.
Oh, fucking, where did you get that Dota anime video? Holy shit. I just remembered that. You tweeted that at me over the weekend. Where the fuck did that come from?
I was on YouTube.
Wow, man, that thing is
It was on
intense.
YouTube. There you
I
go.
Have
saw
you guys
it.
seen that thing?
I saw it like a year
Oh,
ago or
boy.
something like that,
No.
and immediately thought of you guys.
Wow. I only made it about halfway through. I couldn't take anymore. It was very intense. I'll put a link to that thing in the show notes.
Oh my god.
That thing is serious. You should all watch it.
No.
It's terrifying.
But yeah, it was
It's
emerging.
it's like the
it
two
was
things I
emerging
don't
of your
want
two
to do with.
cultures.
Mm.
It was bringing Dota and anime together.
Yeah.
I don't care about one of those things.
But you could.
No.
But you could.
No, I
should.
couldn't. I will never. I cannot.
How much more quality time would you enjoy with your significant
No,
other if you
I
were
don't
just
need
to
it.
start
It's
playing
fine.
Dota?
Let's just get into League, just to piss them
Okay,
off.
yeah, that's valid. That's also if you want to. Yes, you want to troll him. That's also valid.
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
No, you cannot.
Okay.
No, you cannot.
All right.
Cannot.
One more email. Alex in Melbourne. Hi, Bombcast. Will anime be an official event at the Tokyo Olympic Games? Will any of you be participating as an anime fleet or coach? Alternatively, which games would make up a video game Olympics, the ultimate gathering of esports?
Track and field.
Okay.
California Games.
Okay.
Mhm.
World Games.
Hmm.
It's got the caber toss in it.
Yeah. It's all about the caber tosses.
Yeah.
I also like the hacky sack.
Oh, yeah, and California Games is great.
Games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
you hit the
gestures and
seagulls
all
and
that stuff,
gestures.
yeah.
TNC surf design, or is that too
Wooden
much?
Water Rage?
Too much
Oh,
overlap
man.
with overlap with California Games.
It's
I don't know.
also TNC Surf is really like more about finishing levels and moving forward.
yeah.
The secret is it's not really much of a sports
Yeah,
game.
that's fair.
What other games like involve physical motion, like Taiko Drum
Fruit Ninja.
arcades?
Yeah.
Flipping the table.
Yeah,
arcade
fruit
game.
The flip arcade. Yeah.
They have that in town, actually.
Boonga
They do.
Boonga.
They
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In Japantown.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Anything with the Sega Activator.
Okay.
Yeah.
We fit
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
Something with
Some
that.
balance board stuff.
Samba de Amigo.
Why
Yeah.
can't we
Emotion
have
involved there.
giant mech battles?
Hmm.
They're doing that. Like this is something that's happening. Like there's a company actually here in town, well over in Oakland, that's building a giant mech and challenged another company in Japan who also built a giant mech.
Is this
to a battle.
is it SRL? Is that the name of the company? The crew that's doing stuff
You know,
in the East Bay?
I don't recall.
They've been doing weird shit for a long time, bolting cars together and blowing them up. And
very well could be. Actually,
Yeah.
it's not ringing a bell, but
Okay.
yeah, they're building this like 3 blocks from my
I think
house.
I know what you're talking about.
at the American Steel building or whatever.
And they're basically doing robot jocks.
Yes, exactly. Like they're trying to build like a weird league.
I mean,
or
that's pretty
something
much
like
the
that.
Olympics of the future.
I think
Yeah.
they've got like a Kickstarter and they brought a bunch of people on board that are going to help design this thing and
Wow.
paint it all cool and shit. And yeah, I'm super excited for it.
I think the American flag is featured prominently in the Oakland design.
More than likely, yeah,
Okay.
with explosions in the background. Yeah, totally,
Nice.
totally. I would love to see that event.
Yeah.
Yeah, robot jocks for
Okay.
reals.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Punchy robots.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, why would we make robots if not to punch each other?
No reason at all.
This goes without saying. All right, that's it for emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com. It's a long podcast.
It
Indeed.
happens.
It does happen. Thank you for being here, Alexa.
Yeah, thank you for having
Yeah.
me. This is fun.
I don't know. What's going on this week? What are we doing? when we get out of here?
So we are gonna
Deus Ex.
yeah, we are gonna as soon as this podcast is, if you're watching us live right now, we are going to go start up a live stream and do this Deus Ex quick look while Brad
Oh,
edits
live?
the podcast.
It's actually going to be live.
Yeah, we're gonna run
Okay.
it live.
Okay.
And we're
Ooh.
still in for that. We didn't talk about it before the show, but are we still good to do
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's
It's
hope.
gonna happen.
It may
Alright.
take us, I don't know, 30 minutes.
Oh
to
yeah, yeah.
Spool everything up, so
Yes, I did not mean like 5 minutes later. We'll be going because there's
Maybe around-
processing that has
I
to
got it
happen
hooked up
here.
right here. Let's go.
maybe around 3 o'clock.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds
40
good.
minutes from now.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
All right. Well, then we will not delay. Let's not tarry. I'll let you guys go to set that stuff up. But thanks for listening. This has been another edition of the Giant Bombcast. We will see you guys right back here next week.